Hello everyone, welcome to another stream of Hugo's Desk. So hope you have a wonderful day. It's really warm here, so once again I apologize for the loud air conditioning, but it's incredibly hot and warm. It's 26 degrees here on the office, which is not too bad, but it's like 30 degrees outside. So bear with me. It's going to be a long and smoldering hot day today. So welcome everyone. Today we're going to have our last showreel review of the season. We will be back with showreel reviews in August. So we're going to do a bit of a break for the summer, since the summer is always a bit of a dead space anyway, and a lot of people are not here because of vacation. But thank you so much. Hey everyone. I can see a lot of familiar faces saying hello already. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for stopping by to say hello. So as always, this stream is all about you guys, really. It's the Honest Showreel Reviews. Supposedly I had 3 reviews to do today, since I opened up an extra slot because I thought that person wanted to come in. But that person never answered, and so never replied. So I only have 2 now. I don't really get it. Like, people book their slot and then they never show up. So I'm not really sure why that is happening. That has happened multiple times in the past. But I just wanted to make sure that if anyone here is thinking of joining these showreel reviews, make sure you stick with it, or at least let me know in advance if you can't make it. There's no problem on not being able to make it, or if you have something else that happens in your life, of course. You can always contact me and say, oh, I'm so sorry. And a lot of people have done that in the past, but I really don't enjoy when people book the thing and then never answer. And I spent days chasing up and emailing and messaging, and they never reply. So unfortunately, one of those persons was this time. So it is a shame. It is a shame people don't take it a bit more seriously. But, you know, what can I do? I can't really do anything. I can't control what other people do in their lives. As always, this stream, as you know, we're going to have some giveaways today at the end of the stream. We're also going to have the show reviews as well, at least 2, I hope. But in the meantime, I'm just going to do a bit of housekeeping as well, so that you know what's going on. At this time, I have a giveaway. I have put the giveaway. The giveaway actually is on the chat, so you can have it. I'm simultaneously streaming both on YouTube and also on Twitch. So you can choose which one you would like to watch, of course. Normally YouTube has more people, and normally YouTube has a more vivid chat. But of course there's also a lot of people chatting on Twitch as well. It's up to you which one you want to watch. It's really up to you. Always remember, of course, that on Twitch it tends to be a bit faster in terms of latency, and on YouTube it's a bit slower, so that you know. So today we are going to have a giveaway as usual. That's not the giveaway, sorry, apologies. That's the giveaway. We're going to have a giveaway as always. That's the QR code. If you want to join, this is a giveaway for my new course. My new course, which is it's a free giveaway. You don't need to do anything about it. So that's the QR code, and that's the link. I've also posted the link on both the chats of YouTube and also on Twitch. James has a really great question for me. James on YouTube says, what did you think of the F1 movie? I know you're a big fan. Well, James, I'm such a big fan, and I really love the movie so much. I've watched it twice now. I've watched it once on the cinema, on a regular ass cinema. And then the second time I had the pleasure of watching it on the Dolby Theater, which is for the Visual Effects Society Awards projections. And so they projected it on a really good cinema on the Dolby Theater in Soho in London, and it was amazing watching it there. Really loved the movie, and I love the movie so much that I'm going to do something I don't often do, which is I'm doing a video review about it, and I'm actually making it now. I'm writing the script of the video review, and the video review should come out in a few days. So I'll wait for my opinion when the review is out, so maybe you can check. The video will be broadcasted and on my YouTube channel, so you can watch it there. But thanks for asking. Hey João, how you doing? Nice to see you as well. Hey Eric, how you doing? Hey Gazi. Hey Rodrigo, and hi Nilavan. Hi Halo. How you guys doing? Hey Marcelo. So many familiar faces. I'm really happy for all of you joining me in the last array of the showreel reviews. I also want to mention, of course, my Nuke course is still available and it's still on discount. I'm at this point, I'm probably going to keep the discount for quite a while. And so you can buy both my courses. I have now a second course. I have the Nuke course, of course, which is the main course that most people know. But I also have a workshops course now, which is a course that is comprised of 7 completely different workshops. Includes the files as well. So maybe go to the link there and have a look and check it out. It's 6% off right now, so you can always have a look and see if you enjoy it. Also, goes without saying, I just wanted to let everyone know that I do have a second channel now. So I do have a second channel where I play some games. And so if you want to check out my second channel, that's the link there. It's called Hugo's Desk Gaming. I've decided to make a second channel since a lot of people from the main channel complained that I was playing so many games on my channel. I play a lot of games, as you probably have noticed. I mean, anyone that goes on the show can notice that those are all games. Some people thought it was books, but no, those are games. I have about 1,500 games. Games, you know, you can see the Dreamcast games down here, PlayStation 1 games, the PlayStation 2, 4, 5, 3. All of the games are behind me, and on the corner there I even have some Xbox and Wii U games and everything. So I'm a huge gamer. I've always been a huge gamer, and so I've decided to open up a channel just for that. And so check it out now. I'm currently playing Death Stranding 2 on that channel, so I think I'm like a fourth of the way on the game. I'm like 25% in. I played the game for like 13 hours. I'm playing 2 games on that channel. I'm playing Death Stranding 2, and I'm also playing Dark Souls 3 right now, trying to platinum Dark Souls 3. So check out that. And of course, goes without saying that if you would like to support the channel, you can also join my Patreon, where you can get some perks there. And you can also become a member here on YouTube and get some perks there as well. Or you can also use your free subscription on Twitch. So if you have Amazon Prime, you can link it to your Twitch account, and then you can give away the subscription that you get every month for free from Amazon Prime and give it to my channel. And that way you don't pay anything, but I do get some money from Twitch. So you can support on all these 3 ways. We have Patreon, I have members on YouTube, and I have the Twitch subscriptions with Prime as well. A lot of people, if you all of the money and all of the support that I get goes to running the show. Some people, the other day, like some people were leaving messages on my chat saying, "Oh, congratulations to your team of the wonderful videos you're making." I just want everyone to know that there is no team. It's just me. There's no one else here. It's just me. There's no one else. I do the whole thing. I film, I edit, I broadcast, I do the streams, I do the thumbnails, I do the whole thing by myself. There's no team, of course, with the exception of Ian Files, which is my co-host on the VFX Not podcast. But I still edit those podcasts as well. And actually, talking of the podcast, I just wanted to share some really great news. We finally have a new episode coming out. And the episode will be on Civil War, which is coming out this Monday. I've set up a Prime, like a Premiere. You know, like I've always set up. I set up a Premiere. I think it's here. Just to give me a second. Where did I put it? Oh yeah, here it is. So I've set up a page. I'm gonna do something I've never done with the VFX Note podcast. I'm going to make it as a Premiere. So if you go to that website over there that I'm showcasing on the chat right now, you can go there and you can put it on the calendar. So being a premiere, that means the episode will be broadcasted at 6 in the afternoon London time on Monday. And while it will be broadcasted for the first time as a premiere, there will be a chat room, so you can all watch the episode with me and with all of us, and we can have a live chat while we watch the episode for the first time. So check that out. That's the link on the chat there if you want to be part of it. Yeah, that's it, really. I also wanted, of course, to thank BenQ for sponsoring this stream. BenQ sponsors all the Showreel Review streams, and I could not have done any of these streams without the help of BenQ, and I really mean it. I know that a lot of times people kind of think that corporate being sponsoring channels is something cringing or something not honest, but it is very much honest. I've been working with BenQ for a long time now, and they've been so supportive of my channel. They really let me do whatever I want, and they never really force me anything. They never really tell me what to do or what to say. It's really from the bottom of my heart how I really appreciate BenQ and how I appreciate the support that they've been giving over these years, and all the videos that I've made for them and all the reviews I've done for them. They're all honest and genuine, and of course I know that you can take that as a grain of salt, of course, because they're sponsoring the stream, but I really do mean it. I'm being honest about it. And with that in mind, I'm going to just play the BenQ. I'm going to play the BenQ commercial because, as always, they are the sponsors of this channel. So it's only 1 minute long, so bear with me. So again, thank you so much, BenQ, for supporting the channel, and I'll see you all very soon. I'll be right back. Okay, once again, thank you so much, BenQ, for supporting the channel. I find it funny what João said on the chat on YouTube here. And by the way, on Twitch chat, I have someone here saying hello as well. So D1 Saz73R is saying hello. I say hello to you as well. I do have the both chats open here, so I'm trying to respond to both chats at the same time. João is saying the size of the PlayStation 5 always hits me. Man, that is nothing. That's the PlayStation 5 Pro. That's a small one. Because the PlayStation 5 Pro is much smaller than the original one. I don't know if you guys go and watch some of my old videos, you know, like if you, for example, go to, I don't know, it doesn't really matter if you go like a bit older. Like, I'm just gonna do this real quick here because I think it's a huge difference actually. When you look at the size of that one and the size of the new one, they really did a good job on making it smaller because it was ridiculously big, the original one. I think if I, for example, go to, I don't know, like let's go to Guardians of the Galaxy here, why not? If I go to this episode here, you can see, you can't really see it because it's too, well, I can go to the recordings and then you can see it better there. So let's see here. Sorry, I'm opening something. Oh, it's not working now. Oh, that's weird. Why is that? Okay. Well, it's probably easy to just go to my channel instead of trying to do that. So I'll show you there. Show what I mean. Because it's quite funny. If I go to the podcast, let's say, for example, if I go to like, I don't know, a couple of time ago. So if I go to the creator, for example, instead of going to the last one that I did, I think by then I didn't have the PlayStation Pro yet. Probably I did. I probably did. Yeah, I think I did actually. Yeah, no, that's the big one actually. So if I go here, you'll see it. Oh, so many ads. There's so many ads on YouTube. Can anyone actually even watch anything on YouTube these days? It is insane how many ads this fucking platform has now. It's just like, Jesus, can you make it more problematic and more full. Yeah, you see that? That is big. That is what a big console is. Look at the size of that thing. That's the old one. This is... Look at the Xbox. The Xbox actually looks small. The Xbox looks really tiny, and then the 360 looks really tiny. And this thing is monstrous. This is the old one, the old PS5. The new one is not as big. You see, like the new one is a little bit smaller. That's the Pro, a much smaller console. Jesus, it's just ridiculous how big this thing was. Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, use Brave for YouTube. You mean to remove the ads? I know. It's just absolutely mental, isn't it? It's absolutely mental. Necronis, thank you so much for saying that. I really appreciate that you saying that you bought the BenQ monitor after watching some of our broadcasts. Thank you so much, Necronis. That means a lot to me. It really means a lot to me, and also I'm sure it means a lot to BenQ if they're listening, that you bought the monitor because of my streams. Thank you so much. Actually, that reminds me that, you know, if anyone is interested on buying a BenQ monitor, you can contact me. I can't broadcast the code live because BenQ doesn't allow me, but I do have a 10% discount that I can share with anyone. So if you're interested on buying a BenQ monitor, contact me, you know, on a message, you know, or privately on Discord or on Twitch or on Twitter, or you just find my social media and contact me there, and then I can give you a 10% discount. You know. Rodrigo, thank you so much for saying that as well. You also bought a monitor. That sounds great. That sounds lovely. I'm so happy to hear that. I'm so happy to hear that you guys have bought the monitor because of my streams. I'm really grateful for you to do that. Not that I earn any money from them, but you know, it feels really good to know that. It feels really nice to know that. But anyway, I am already talking way too long. Bear also said the same. Very happy with it. And you bought the screen bar halo. Yeah, I mean, the screen bar halo is one of my favorite things on BenQ, really. I just, yeah, of course, Rodrigo. You contact me anytime you want, and I can give you the code if you want interested. Yeah, I have this code, this 10% code, which they gave me, but I can't share it online. The whole idea they have is that it is a way of talking to the people, and also like getting some kind of you know, like engagement with the audience. And so you basically have to talk to them, and that's their idea. Of course, their idea is that you're going to talk to the people, and they'll let you know what they need, and then that's the whole idea. I still think that you should just give the code out, and that's it, but I'm not allowed to send the code like publicly. I'm not allowed to just say it here. It is available on my Patreon though, so you can always get it there. But yeah, but thank you so much. Thank you so much. Sandy Pen also says the same thing. BenQ is going to be very happy with this. They're going to be very happy to see that you guys are buying monitors because of my streams. Thank you so much for saying that. Anyway, we are here for the showreel review, so let's start them now because Tim has been waiting for a while now, and I do apologize. We are already about 10 minutes late for his showreel review. So I'm going to bring them in and see how it is. And of course, if you have questions on the chat, or I'll get to them. Don't worry. I'll try to get to the questions as best as I can. I got a warning here now saying that that there is some kind of streaming not being smooth. I need to like check what's... I probably know what it is. I still had Dropbox open, so I'm going to kill Dropbox, and then it should be smoother now to stream. Okay, yeah, that's probably it. I still had Dropbox open. Okay. Anyway, let's just bring in Tim here and see if they are here already. Hopefully they are. Yeah, they are. I'm gonna just switch off my camera here. Hey GLM, how you doing, my friend? Okay. So okay. Thank you so much for all this love. Thank you so much, Necronis on Twitch, for buying the monitor. Thank you so much, Sandy Pan for buying the monitor. Thank you so much. Beer R for buying it as well. Thank you so much, Eric, as well. Yeah, thank you so much, all of you. I hope I haven't missed anyone. If I do, I am sorry. Hey, 3D George, how you doing? That is a great name. Okay, let's bring in Tim and see if they are here. Hey, Tim, how are you doing? How are you doing? Are you here?
Hi, I can hear you, yes.
Great, that's great. Thank you so much for joining. Let me ask you this. Like, I already kind of warned this on multiple of my streams, but I can't share the camera with you, like on my fee, because I'm already sharing it on 2 different platforms, on Twitch and on YouTube. Is that okay with you? That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I see your version from the past on my other screen.
My version of the past. Okay, cool. I mean, do you want me to put your webcam on the stream? Do you want to be seen, or you just want to do it on audio?
I mean, you can, yeah, if it's okay, yeah.
No, of course. I just wanted to mention if you wanted to. Of course, it's up to you. Then I'll do that. I'll put it on the screen because then at least people can see your face and they can see who's talking. So yeah. Well, first of all, thank you so much for popping in and for. I'm gonna just do this because then I'm gonna just improvise here a way of doing it. Yeah, that should work. Okay, great. First of all, thank you so much for coming in, Tim. That's much appreciated. And why don't you give us a little introduction to you, my friend? Like, where are you calling from? What do you do? What's going on?
So yeah, I'm basically located here in Germany, and yeah, I'm here to show my compositing demo reel, which I did at Pixel Vision.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, I've worked on this reel for the last, I don't know, 4 months maybe.
Okay.
After yeah, I did like 6 months generalist education, and then I specialized on compositing. It's almost 1 year ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
A year ago. Okay. And how's it going? Like, are you actually working right now? Are you looking for work? How's it going?
I'm looking for work actually. I submitted my demo reel to my school like 2 weeks ago,
Okay.
and now in a few weeks I'm graduating. So, and then I'm already looking for a job, and yeah, we'll see how it's going.
Okay, cool. How's that going? You've been submitting it, and did you get any replies? Anyone contacting you?
Not yet actually. I submitted it to lots of studios. I texted people, but it's been 2 weeks, so I'm still waiting, and I'm reaching out to more studios.
Okay, cool. Yeah, where you, if you don't mind saying, where are you contacting from Germany? Where you are?
Yeah, it's basically near Cologne.
Okay, great. Is it really hot there as well? I guess it is, isn't it?
Today it's okay, but the last days were terrible.
Yeah, it's been horrible here as well. It's been like 30 degrees here in the UK, in London, and these houses are not ready for it, and we don't have really proper air conditioning, so it's been like it's been really tough. But yeah, we just have to endure. Okay, cool. So I'm going to share my screen with you because, of course, like you said, otherwise you're gonna be watching the past. So I'm going to. Sorry, is this a second? I'm gonna. I got a warning now here saying that I didn't have permission. I'm not sure what that's going on. Well, hopefully it works. I just updated my Mac OS, so now of course I'm having all sorts of things that look weird. Do you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, great. That's good. Okay, so I'm gonna just open up your showreel and put it running live. And I'm going to take out the sound as I usually do, and I'm just going to like loop it and run it here. I have not seen it. As usually, I don't try not to see showreels before we do the reviews. I want to try to be surprised as much as I can by the showreel itself. Yeah, but I'm gonna put it playing here now. So yeah, I mean, generally we're gonna go shot by shot, but what's going on with this showreel? Like, is it mostly work from production, or is it personal work, or mix of both? What is this? That's the company, right? Pixel Vision, right? Is that the company?
Yeah, Pixel Vision is the school. It's like the VFX school in Cologne. And these are all student projects. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So I did compositing for a year now, and this is what I learned in that time.
Yeah, and it also says there Maya as well in Arnold. So you are proficient in 3D as well, or do you actually do 3D as well? How's that going?
I needed to do like the 3D things to have some rendered material to do the compositing for.
Mm-hmm.
And because I learned it at the beginning of the education, I could do it. And yeah, I wanted to have like some CG car in it, so I rendered it, I animated it to do the compositing at the end.
Oh, I see. I see. Okay, I see. I see. That's what you. Okay, okay. I see what you
But,
mean.
I'm applying as a compositor, so
That because is that what you would like to do? Is that's your preference, right? To be a
yes.
compositor. Okay, cool. I'm gonna see if I can get. It's always a bit of a struggle with Google here, trying to like get you to also be part of this call, and it's always like a bit of a struggle with Google here. Okay, so I can put you in here on the corner there. That's good. Hopefully that works, and I can just like make this a bit smaller, and I can just move it up here, or something like that. We're gonna go through shot by shot anyway, so it doesn't really matter that it's not full screen. Okay, cool. So, cool, man. Well, are you still working on some shots, or are you like, is this pretty much it, or is that everything you have in your showreel, or are you still working?
No, this is basically all done. It doesn't mean it's all perfect, but I'm not working on this anymore since I submitted it to the school.
Okay, cool. Okay, well, let's start shot by shot. Let's see here. Yeah, so first shot, it says here that you've worked on Maya, Arnold, Nuke, and Houdini, and so compositing and lighting. So that means that someone else was involved on the modeling. Is that why you're mentioning only lighting? Is that why?
No, the modeling, I got the model from Kitbash, like the ship.
Okay.
And I wanted to mention like the most important topics. I also did like the ocean simulation, the rain simulation, but I wanted to focus like only the compositing lighting part.
I see. Okay. It looks really cool, the shot. The shot is looking really nice. I think perhaps I would say that maybe it's this is of course nothing to do with the shot itself, but it might be a little bit crushed since the blacks are so dark and it's so graded that it has lost some detail. I can barely understand certain parts of the scene. So I would definitely, next time you do shots like this, just be a bit careful with how much color correction you put into the shots, because it could become a bit difficult to really see what you've done. But yeah, other than that, I think it looks nice. I can see a couple of problems here. For example, I can kind of see that you have a clear, especially when the flash happens here. That's when it's not. I think it's actually only during the flash, because during the normal comp you don't see that. But when it flashes the lightning, you clearly see a black edge all around the CG. You have this kind of pre-multiplication black edge around the staircase here, the staircase going up the boat as well. You have it on the back there as well. I don't know. You don't have it on the front though, so I think it's only there's something must have happened here, where there is some kind of edge problem with pre-multiplication on the CG. So yeah, so and that's only when it flashes, and you can kind of see that as well. Notice how where I have my mouse, you see my mouse, right?
Yeah.
You see this connection is really nice, where you have almost no distinguish factor between the sky and the ocean. It almost kind of merges into itself, which is really nice. But when it flashes, you have this really nasty edge going on here as well. So it's definitely something going on with your flash that is affecting edges in certain places. Can I ask you, how did you do the flash? Like, is that comp or is it a lighting pass in CG?
It's kind of both. I
Okay.
rendered the frames where the lightning is to get like accurate light on the glass, like you can see the reflection.
Yeah.
I first tried gaining it up, but it looks shit, so I rendered like only those frames.
Okay.
And in Nuke, in addition to that, I created like a gizmo where I have an animation curve to do like the grading and some brightness changes.
Okay, okay, I see. It might be a combination then. It's only flashy sometimes, right? So you are probably having it off a while and then you switch it on, right? Is that what
Yeah.
you're doing? And how are you doing that? Is it like through a dissolve? Or is it through a switch? How are you actually activating that? Is it through a grade node? How are you actually putting it into the comp?
It's a gizmo which is like animated,
Okay.
and I
And the
think
gizmo is just on top of what the final CG section of your comp, or is it on top of the whole thing, or where is it located?
it's located on different elements.
Okay.
Like I adjusted it for the different parts,
Okay.
but I think I did like also a switch to like the frame range where it's not needed at the end. So
I see. I see. Well, maybe I know you've submitted it, but maybe at least for you to know what it could be, maybe have a look at it and go through your script and just try to detect where is this probably coming from. When I'm having situations like this, the most common thing I do is I try my best to go through the script and then um, go to the very beginning of the script and start going with the viewer node by node by node by node. So basically go to a frame where you have the flash and then go to the very beginning of the script and start putting every node to the viewer until you find this problem. And then once you find this problem, that is the node where the problem is coming from. So that you can make sure if it's actually coming from the gizmo or if it's coming from something else just before the gizmo. It might be a mask, it might be a rogue alpha channel, it might be a setting on the gizmo, it could be a lot of things, but I would really advise you to go back and kind of check it to see if you can find a solution. Then other things that I would say is that especially it's not very visible when it's not flashing the lightnings, but when the lightnings happen, let's see here. Where is another lightning happening? In a frame where we have a lightning. I think it's on. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, there we go. So there's also like I would say that you probably have you could work a bit more on your depth of field. I feel like you have an extremely defocused background with almost like a complete blur happening on the background there with the water and on both sides. And I do think it would work a bit better if you had a slight more defocused affecting the actual ship. And of course, be careful with the edges, like we've talked before as well. And also, I think your shot would benefit for some kind of atmospheric layer as well. I think it would have worked better if you had a little bit more atmospherics going on so that you have a sense of almost a little slight fogginess happening in the background. That would also help it not to be pitch black, which it is right now, but also it would give it depth, it would give it more scale to it as well. Yeah, so those are the things. And now I think that the rest is looking really nice. I really like the water wetness that you have on your ship. It's really nice with the droplets. I think you did a great job with that. You did a great job with the glass, with all the kind of water feeling that the glass have, and when it flashes, you kind of see that the glass is kind of fogged up and with a bit of dirt, but also kind of like with the typical condensation that you get from glass, which is really nice as well. I think you did a good job there. Now, in regards to integrating the actor, which I think it's you, isn't it?
yeah.
Integrating the actor, I also think you did a good job. It kind of like feels like it's there. Although I would say that in terms of lighting and in terms of putting it inside the boat, it is looking okay. But in terms of softness and sharpness, I think it's a bit off. I think your ship is a bit too sharp as compared to you. So you probably have to soften a bit more the ship, the CG, to match so much softness that you have on your own footage. Let's see here. Where is your footage? Yeah, that's the footage. So I'm not sure what kind of camera you used, but you can kind of see that you are quite soft in terms of either you use the camera that is soft in general, or a lens that is soft, or then the f-stop was very low. I don't know. What kind of camera did you use, by the way? This is a curiosity.
I think it was a Canon, yeah, or Sony. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know that camera stuff that well.
Yeah, that's not a
But
problem.
I also got a lot of feedback that the ship is too sharp. So
Yeah. He's not with the correct sharpness and the correct nobleness to match with the rest as well. So, but it's a nice looking shot. I think if you kind of can fix those things like the black points and the darkness and the crunch, the fog, the depth of field, the edges, and also like the softness between him and the ship, I think you could have a really realistic shot. This is, of course, just a quick note, and you can't fix this, but I just wanted to mention that it is very strange and awkward that the person, which is you, inside the ship is not affected at all by this stormy sea. So it would have been nice if when you filmed this, that you would have given yourself a little bit out of balance. This is an acting note, of course, which has nothing to do with your showreel, but it would give it a lot more believability for me to believe that he's there if you would have looked like you were a little bit out of balance, because it's going up so much, up and down. The water is so rough that you're so relaxed inside the ship, just putting your hands in your pocket and just like nothing is happening. So in all of these little things do contribute to the believability of the shots. Although I know it's not a compositing note, but it does work because those little details make the shot more realistic. So think about those things the next time you go and shoot something and you go in and film stuff like this in the future. Cool. But this is looking great. I really like your ocean. It's really looking nice. You did a good job with the sky as well. Is the ocean the one that came from I, or is it Houdini? Like, where did you do the ocean?
the ocean is Houdini.
Great. And then the ship is Maya. Is that the case then?
Yes.
Okay. The ship is really nice as well. You found a really nice asset. It's really detailed as well. It's really nice. You did a good job with the lighting. I really like your lamp inside with the little fire, all like the I think it's paraffin or gasoline little lamps that are inside the ships. You did a good job with the distortion as well. The rain looks great as well. Yeah, great job, man. I think it's a nice looking shot. Just has a few more little things to make it even better, Cool. Okay, so let's move on to the next shot now here. So tell me a little bit about this one with the church and the forest here.
Oh, yeah. Okay, this was a fun project to work on. Had lots of issues with that, but I thought like the layout was kind of cool.
Yeah,
and to show like the CG assets, because I wanted to do CG integrations. And also, this was like a project to practice all of the other aspects, like roto and match moving and stuff.
Yeah, it's a great shot. Great pick for layout. Great pick of the shot itself. It's really nice that you have this massive tree with a lot of branches and a lot of leaves, which make a nightmare for rotoscoping. So it's a really good choice that you've made to try to challenge yourself trying to do that, because it must have been really hard to rotoscope all of that and to key all of that or whatever you did there. The tracking also looks quite nice. I have some stuff to say, but I'll get to it in a second. I think it's a relatively successful shot, but it does require some tweaking as well for it to look better. I think out of the box right away when you look at it, there is something. The first thing that I see is the depth of field discrepancy, and so it's very noticeable that the CG is not fully merging with the depth of field of the plate. And you see that clearly by the fact that this tree here is really sharp and, well, sharpish. It's a quite blurry shot. But and then this tree is already having some defocusing, so depth of field is already affecting that tree, and then by the time you get to back there, it's a huge amount of defocusing that is happening on the forest, and you have not really matched it correctly, because if you really think about it, you have actually defocus things that happen in front of these structures. There are more defocused in the structure itself. So when you look at it, when I, for example, leave it like that, let's see here. So when if I go to the last frame here, you can kind of see that, you see it's slightly defocused happening already here on the river bed side, but then your church is not really matching that amount of defocusing. The same goes for the water. You can kind of see on the reflection on the water, and you can kind of see on the details on the top of the water that you have quite a lot of defocusing going on this area, but then your structure is completely sharp, almost untouched by depth of field and defocusing. So that is really, for me, the biggest thing. You did a really good job with the last structure. The last structure is really well integrated, but I think the other two structures needed a lot more blur for them to get merged in, because it is a really soft plate that you have here. So that is the first thing that comes to mind right away. Let me just also check here the track. I think you did a good job with the track. I can see that it's completely attached to the... Just like looking at it right straight to that church there. I mean,
it took a lot of time to get the track. There's also a lot of micro jitter in the plate itself.
Oh yeah. I mean, I do think you did a really good job. I don't think anyone will ever notice, but there is like a couple of frames here and there that it slides ever so slightly. And if you zoomed in 200 or 300%, you would probably notice. But I think it's very minimal, and it's really well done. I mean, I don't think it is... I think it's production level. It's good. It's not that you should... I can kind of... Already by just looking at the plate, I can see how hard this plate would have been to track, because the plate is so blurred. It is so blurred. It's... Where does this plate come from, by the way?
I got this from Pexels.
Okay. So it's a very low quality MP4 probably that you got, like a QuickTime or a video. Yeah, you can kind of see that it is very, very much so blurry that it must have been a nightmare to track. Yeah, but I think you did a good job, and you also did a great job with the roto and the keying and the leaves and the tree. I think you did a really good job. And also, not to mention that you ended up putting more stuff in front, which is really smart. Like, you ended up putting... Because the original plate didn't have so much leaves, did it?
Yeah, and I had lots of issues putting the CG behind the leaves. Yeah. So, because I couldn't roto them, and keying didn't look great.
Yeah.
So I added like an additional branch layer.
Yeah, I think that's a really good option. And... The problem with this is that as much as this is a really good exercise that you've done, your plate is so low quality that it's a really big accomplishment that you've actually managed to pull it off as you did. Normally in companies, you don't get such a bad plate. You don't get so low resolution, and well, sometimes you do, but it's very rare. Maybe you're fixing something, or maybe, sometimes you do get the occasional plate that the director or the production company shot by themselves with a smaller quality camera. You do get sometimes those things, but even when you get those kind of plates, it doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look as bad as this, because it tends to be given to you at least as a ProRes, even if it's the low. Like, we tend to shoot in RAW when we are filming in production, either in RAW or in 35mm. It's not very common that we use compressed formats, but if there is a production with compressed formats, so it will be at least a ProRes, which is compressed, but it's at least high quality. It would never look this bad, and so I do think it is a really good challenge that you've done for yourself, but it is very unlikely that you would ever encounter such a bad plate in production. And unfortunately, that means that the plate itself has so much blur and it's so defocused that it really gives a lot of work for you to make this integrated, because there is a fine line between I don't think you can match it completely, because if you put too much blur on the church, or if you put too much blur on the harbor, it will look fake as well, because the plate itself is not really blur. This is compression and compression artifacts, which is different from blur, you know. So if I was doing a shot like this, if I really got this with from a client, I would experiment. There is certain gizmos and certain plugins that help you compress the footage to try to match micro compression and JPEG compression artifacts to try to merge plates. Maybe I would experiment with that instead of blurring it, because it's what's occurring on this plate is not really depth of fields problem. It's more compression artifacts and softness in general problem. So I would also try a soften, which is a node in Nuke that is not very commonly used, or maybe blur, or maybe the matrix node. There's a couple of nodes that I would try to soften the pixels as close as I could with this plate. You know, I would stay away from the defocus node. I think it would defocus too much. It would be a bit too much more probably for it. Yeah, it's a look good looking shot. Now, the tracking is spot on. The depth field, we talked about it already. I think you did a good job with the fog. I think you did a really good job. I think I can kind of believe that this fog is kind of still the same one, the one you put on top of the church. I mean, the original plate already had the fog anyway, and I think you did a really good job there. This is really nice, especially this building here. That's really good, and this building here with the fog bank as well. And I even think the black point is looking really nice. Yeah, I think you did a good job. Is this also like models you found? Is that what this is as well?
This is also from Kitbash. Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then you lit it and rendered it. Okay, I see. Can I ask you how long it took you to do a shot like this?
Maybe 2 months maximum.
Okay, cool. That's
yeah.
good.
I know the ship. I worked on this for 6 weeks.
Okay.
And yeah, the next shot maybe 2 weeks.
Okay, cool. That's good. That's good to know. That might they might ask you that on interviews. That's why I'm asking you, because it's very common that when it's student work, we never really know if they spent 6 months on it or a year on it or whatever, you know. So, and realistically, I think 6 weeks would be a realistic deadline or timeline for someone on your level to do a shot like that. I think so. I think maybe 5 weeks would have been a bit better, but I think, you know, it's normal that it take you a long time since you're still learning and you're a student, and also, like on a company, you have other people next to you and you have other people you can talk to, and so a lot of times you get a lot of help from other seniors or other mid-level people that are on the company, so which is always different, because you as a student only have other students to talk to, so it's a bit different, the improvement. But yeah, well done, man, my friend. Okay.
Nice. Thank you.
So next shot hub. So this is from Tears of what's the name? Tears of whatever.
Tears of Steel.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Tears of Steel. So this is from Tears of Steel. Yeah, tell me a little bit about this. Like, how was it?
Yeah, so I wanted to do like a real green screen project, like not like the little green screen extension in the CG ship, but like a full green screen project. So I decided to do like this.
Yeah.
And it was like 2 or 3 weeks before school submission, and I needed one more project, so I did like a quick green screen project with this.
Yeah, you did a really good job. I think you did a really good job with the light wrapping. That looks really realistic. And the edge blooming that you get from the light wrapping brightness, it's very realistic, the sky that you put in and the way it's coming in, and also the way it's feeding into the edges of the gun, the details that you've kept. I think it's really looking nice. You didn't lose too much of the guy. I think the hair is a good extraction as well, and also I mean, yeah, I think you did a good job. If anything, the only thing I would say is that it is still, there is a very, very subtle little edge that still is kind of creeping into this little pillar there. and also into this little pillar there. If you had such a bright background, I wouldn't really believe that it would still have such a dark edge. It would be much more bloomed and much more blurred and much more bright by having such a bright background behind it. So this could be fixed by maybe you could use an edge extension technique where you could kind of remove a couple of pixels from the edge and try to bring back the you know, if you go back here, there are brighter pixels on more in the middle here that could have been extended into the end. That could have worked. That could be one way. Other ways you could do could use a light wrap to as a like you could do another light wrap, and that light wrap could be used as a mask, as a black and white mask, to color correct just that edge and try to brighten it a little bit more. That could also work. You know, that could be done.
This is already happening in these areas, like exactly those points you're mentioning, and some of the hairs. I used a mix between vector edge extension and light wrapping.
Okay.
But but the edge was very difficult, especially at the left.
Yeah, I mean, there is always a limit of what we can do, and I think you've done a really good job. I don't think anyone will complain much about it. I think it's very subtle, that edge, and I think it's done a good job. I'm more happy with the fact that it just looks natural. That's really what I like on the shot. It looks very natural, the way that the sky is in and the way that you've just put it in. You know, and also you've chosen a quite realistic sky for it, for the lighting that he has and for the light direction that is happening. Yeah, it looks, I mean, if you don't really have a trained eye, most people would just think this was shot, you know, which is nice. You know, I think you did a good job in that sense. So yeah, cool, man. Okay, what else? Okay. Oh, thank you so much, Tyler, for the super chat. I'll talk to you in a second, and I'll answer your question in a minute. But I'm really, really grateful for you to be so kind and give us a super chat. Thank you so much. I don't know why I talk in plural. It's just me here. I'm always saying give us, like it's just me. But to give me the super chat. And that's what I meant. Okay, cool. So that's a really nice shot. Okay, so what's going on with this one?
Yeah, so this was a fun idea, actually. I wanted to practice like paint outs. And in the original plate, there's like a truck driving, and I practiced some techniques to get rid of this.
And put a CG car, yeah.
And while I was working on this, I thought it was looking better than expected, so I continued to do like a CG integration. And then I realized I had a new demo project.
Yeah. This looks terrific. Like, you did a fantastic job on putting the car there. Like, it's really good. Like, you even managed to bring in these really nice reflections on the car, which actually were there on the other one. Like, this reflection, I think this is probably from the lamps of the other car, most likely. This is, you've managed to reproduce that on the other CG car. Really,
I did this in Maya. I did some area lights, and some of them are animated, and
This is really your best shot of your entire showreel. It's a really good shot, and I do think this should be on the front of the showreel, because you should always have your best shot on the front. You did a really good job with this, to a point that most likely a lot of people would not even consider that this is CG. So so tell me a little bit about this asset. Like, this car is a CG asset that you've gotten, of course, but is this something you also worked on? Like, because there's someone inside the car. Is that something you put in, or was it already part of the asset?
So the CG car is in the credits. I put in the link, actually.
Ah, sorry, yeah, that's right. You had credits at the end. That's right. I noticed that as well. So you're talking about. This is this one, right? It's the middle one. So no, okay, wait a minute.
The cars, like there's somehow switched.
Oh, that's one. Cosmic 6 Gum. Okay, I see what you mean. That's a car, right?
Yeah, and from CG Trader I got like this rig, and I just placed them inside
I
the
see.
car.
I see. That's cool. That's cool.
And I also did the texturing for the car
Cool.
because it was like just a clay model.
And I had almost nothing. This is really nice, by the way, that you've actually put the credits. This is a really nice touch. It's really nice because then people can go and check what you've done and what you've done. It's very rare that we see this. This is a really nice idea. I'm going to start telling my students to do this. This is really good. I've never really thought about that, of doing a credit like that with such detail, but it doesn't, because it's such a really clever thing to do, because then people can also have a bigger understanding of what you actually did, which is really nice. Yeah. Okay, so yeah, I mean, what can I say? I think you did a really good job. Let me just. It's a shame you don't have a breakdown where I see when you remove the car, you actually put the other car. I would love to have it side by side, so that I can judge the integration between it. That is a shame, but I'm gonna do something cheeky here. What I'm gonna do is I'm going to, let's see here. I can just like export this as a QuickTime into my desktop, and then I can make a second QuickTime and then have that open, because I just wanted to like look at it side by side, because I wanted to see. It looks to me like it's really well integrated, but I will not know until I make sure I see it here. So if I put it on, let's see here, that's the frame. I'll be that frame, and then the car. No, sorry, that's a little bit earlier. So you've put the, yeah. So that's the one. Okay, that's the car, and then that would be before. So it'd be somewhat close to somewhere around here. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's somewhere around here, because I'm looking at this car here as a reference. It's kind of close enough, I think. I can use you should actually use the, yeah, there you go. Can use this jaw here to match it. Yeah, that's the frame. Okay, cool. So I just wanted to like have a look and really understand how close you got. Yeah, so you got pretty close, but not completely. I mean, there's a few things. I mean, when you see the shot, like, you don't really think about that. But when I'm looking at here now, looking at this car and looking at your CG car, I think that you went a bit too far with the depth of field and the defocusing. I think you could have left the car a little bit more sharp, because you see the van. The van is really the van is. This is not really a van. It's like a pickup truck or whatever. It's quite sharp. You can kind of see on the effects here, on the lighting, on the wheel rims. And you have a little bit too much softness on your car. It's only a little bit. It's very subtle, so it's almost there. But you did a really good job with this. Like, this lightings are really inspired. They're really matching up to what was here. Obviously, we can kind of see the entire reflection of the environment, and we can kind of see the buildings and other things as well on this side. Not that you could really replicate this, but normally on a production, what they would have done is they would have, of course, had an HDR of this shot of this place, and then, of course, they would have, if it's a really high-end production, they would have replicated the other side of the street with some proxy geometry, and that would have been reflected into the surface of the car, not just an HDR, but just actually have proper geometry there so that it's more visible on the reflection. But yeah, I think you did a really good job. Someone on the chat here was mentioning that the angle of the car feels slightly different to the truck and the car. That could be, you need to be careful with that, Sejal. Sejal is saying that on YouTube, because the truck is so much higher than the car, so it is never gonna match in terms of perspective, because this car is so low. It's a sports car, so it's a much lower car. So I'm not entirely sure it is different in terms of angle. I think it's just the notion that the Jeep is probably the truck is much higher up. But yeah, you did a really good job. There is one thing I've noticed though, is that you've softened quite a lot the plate. Do you know why that happened? Like, you see there, if you look at the original plate, it's much sharper than the one that you've actually used. So there's something going on here that I've noticed. If you look at, for example, the beer, spirits, wine there, you see that? Like it's almost like it's been filtered, your plate. Is that because of the cleanup, or is it because of something else, you think?
On some frames, it's because of the paint out.
Okay.
I also put like some rain on top of it.
Oh, I see.
Because the car is also in the rain, so I need to do like rain on the whole plate. And it's an additional compression because I had to render it again to have like the plate and then the CG in it. And then
yeah, you don't have enough resolution. Yeah, the plate doesn't have enough resolution for you to filter it so much. I know what you mean. That's probably why. I also think you could have done a bit more work on the wetness of the car. Like if you can look at the Jeep is really wet because of the rain. I think you could have made the car wetter with more droplets and more water, and could have been a lot wetter, I think, than the one you've done. So it's only a small detail, but I think it would have made the shot look even more realistic. You know, it would have been nice. Yeah, so. Sejal keeps saying like, no, the back, you can see right hand tall light on the truck. Okay, let's just see what he's talking about. And then you can kind of see, well, but did you track this? And then, well, to be fair, this is a plate from Pixels, isn't it?
Yes.
So it's not like you have the lens information. You had to track this with nothing, right? Like you didn't really have any information whatsoever.
Yeah, this is actually tracked in Nuke, so
yeah.
I didn't plan to do a whole project out of it, so I just did a simple track. It worked, and all the camera information, I guessed them.
Yeah.
I didn't try to replicate the shots. I just wanted to do a CG integration, so I don't care if it looks exactly like the truck.
Yeah, of course.
The texture is also completely different.
Of course.
I had so much issues with the wetness of the car because it looked like really soft and matte.
Yeah.
But it's one of my favorite projects, and I'm happy that I have a cool CG integration now.
Yeah, but that's what we're talking about. In terms of integration, lenses and angles are part of integration as well. So all these things are a factor. And the more I look at the shot, the more I find little things. I do think that it's incredibly, for people in the chat talking about the lens, it is incredibly difficult for you to completely understand what lens it was used because you don't have no information from the plate. So it is slightly off, but I think it's good enough, I think, for it to work. There's other things that could also work better. There's some kind of problems with the black level, especially when you get to when the car is closer. You see that? Like, you see this really black spot that you have under the car. There's some kind of bad shadow black level area that you can kind of see the car has the correct gray area, but then this black is wrong, and it only kind of happens only when it's, because it doesn't happen here. Well, it happens here as well. There's some kind of too much black going on with the shadows, which is fighting against the black level of the car itself. So the car, either you need to make the car more black with the black levels, with the darkness of the level, or the shadow pass can't be this black. So there's something going on here on the contact shadow that you've created. So the other thing as well is that this car that is coming in has a very unique edge going through the bonnet here, and then the light, and you completely miss that when it rotos. Like as soon as you go in to the other car, you have quite a lot of discrepancy there. So you see that's the edge you have, and then as it goes in here, as you go through, you start having a black edge around the car here as well, and then you've eaten up a little bit of the edge, and as we go in, now it's completely straight and round. So you see, before you had an edge that would be round for the bonnet there, and then you have another edge for the lamp, and then you have another edge for the lamp, and as soon as you get into the car, now it's one single circular edge. So you've missed now the rest of the edges, and so the edges are not correct there. And I'm bet that when it comes out, it becomes good again. You see, now it's correct again because that's the real plate. So you need to be careful with that, with the rotoscoping of the element. You also can see when I scrub a bit faster, you can kind of see that the edge of the bonnet also becomes a bit shorter and a bit smaller, and then it grows. So it grows when it goes out of the car and becomes slimmer when it comes into the car. So the rotoscoping edge of the front car is a bit off. It needs a bit of work. So yeah, those are the most clear things that I can notice. It's these edges of this van. It's the black points of the shadow point. But you know, these are small things, of course. I think anything can improve this shot. You know, I think you've almost got it to a photoreal moment. It just needs a little bit more touch up, and then it will get there. You know, I think it's really good. It's really nice shot. You did a really good job with the shot. You know.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, it looks really good. I think the comments I'm making are really keep in mind that it's just to improve the shot. I think it's already in a good place. I think you did a really good job.
Most of the things I'm aware of them because I worked lots of hours and days on those aspects.
Yeah,
but
of course.
Especially like the edges and resolution stuff is. Yeah.
There's other things as well that you could also make. For example, little small things, all of them together will help. You know, like if you look at the red lamps of the Jeep, they have really hot spots inside of them, and it would probably be nice for it to have also hot spots on the middle of the LED lamps that are on the BMW here, so that it's not so washed out. It needed to be a little bit brighter. Since if you look at all the lights of the cars, they're all overexposed, you see? The little ping of light that is inside this van, the lamp that is inside this Jeep here. I kind of feel that it should also have a ping of light inside the red lights there, so that it would be a bit more exposed. And the same goes for the light on the front as well. It's a bit grayish. So I feel like that is also a little small detail that you can put in that would help the shot even better. So any extra thing that you can do, and the main thing of doing this is always go back to the main plate and always look for clues there. You know, like always go here and see, okay, what's happening on the shadow, and you can kind of see that on the shadow. For example, in here, you see that black point on the shadow that you have there. That it never happens on this Jeep, ever. You see, the Jeep is always there, and it never really has a pure black shadow underneath it. It's always a bit gray, and there's always some kind of lift going on, even on the darkest areas, which is inside here. So maybe have that in mind. And even inside the Jeep itself, you see the amount of black that you have here. If I put up, where's the? Give me just a second. There you go, the color picker. So if I get a color picker here, you see the blackest point here we have is going between RGB is 25, 22, 20, 25, 23. It's between like 20, the low 20s and the almost 20 on the green and blue. When I look at the black point of your car on the same area, so let's think inside the wheel thing here, just between the wheel and the inside, and if I look at the same area here, your car has 47, 47, 46, which is wrong. You need to have the black levels matching, because although it's a different car, I understand, but the environment is not different. And so the blackness inside the wheel would still be the same level, because black is black. And so keep that in mind when you look at this. And the same probably could be said by the brightest thing. So let's look at the brightness between the two windows here. So that would be the color picker that I'm doing here is after you see the two windows. So it's the back end of the Spirit beer car here, and we have 97, 128, 141, and on your car we have 121, 140. So you're like 10 off. Let's just do that again. Just this one, it's a bit higher, but because the car is higher, but this is around 96, 142, 144, and on your car, which is this area here, would be, but you're like 10 off, only 10. It's not much, but all those little things are the look at the lamp here, for example. This is the color of the lamp, 218, 216, 212. And then your lamp is, let's see here, 246, 241, 220, around there, the brightest spot. And then the brightest spot of your lamp is maybe 10 off as well, like 10 points off. All those things will help to make the shot look cooler, you know, like, for example, the reddest part of the brightest red spot that you have here, which this is the yellow spot, but if you go to the red spot of the actual lamp, maybe it would be between this one and this one. And when I look at yours, it's all very even. It's also a bit too red and needs to be slightly with a brighter core. So that's what I'm saying. Like, although this is a different van, you have all the clues you need on this van to make the car. There's other clues as well. For example, this little section here, which is the black area of the window, you know, we have 41, 41, 46. If I go to the same area on your car, you have about 20 points off. So it's not the same black point again. So yeah, always look at the plate and try to figure out where the values are and try to find out things that are similar that can give you clues to the levels of brightness, the levels of blackness, the contrast levels, the core brightness areas, you know, all those things, you know.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And do you have like a color picker software? What are you using there?
This is I'm on a Mac, so this, I don't know if you're on Windows. I'm sure there's a similar thing. Maybe people in the chat can tell me, but the Mac OS brings this by default. It's a software that comes with Mac OS. It's called Digital Color Picker, and allows you to color pick anything at any time, even your face. I can even color pick your face. So it's on top of the software of the whole thing of the OS. I'm certain there is one for Windows. I'm sure people on the chat will tell me that there. I don't believe that it comes with Windows. I'm sure that you probably have to get one, as opposed to this one, which comes with macOS. But maybe it's yeah. Well, yeah. People. Rodrigo, for example, is saying you can use the color picker Nuke. Yeah, that's true. You can use it. You can use the Nuke color picker. That's also one way of doing it. Yeah. You see. There you go. Windows Power Tools gives you a color picker, so maybe have a look at that. Neil Lavan says that on the chat. Yeah, cool. Also, GLM Studio says something really quite cool here. He says that maybe use FSpy to guesstimate the plate focal length. That's a good idea. This is a really nice software that could kind of help you to try to guess what lens was used on this plate, so that you can try to match the lens focal on your Houdini or Maya scene later on, you know. Maybe you can find out if it was a 24mm or if it was a 35mm or if it was a 30 or something like that. Yeah, and Sejal says also there's plenty of options for color picker as well. Yeah, I'll look into that. I don't really normally use Windows. I usually use Mac or Linux. But I can look into that. I do have a Windows laptop somewhere. I think it hasn't been booted in a while, so probably when I open it, I will have updating for 3 years. But I think I haven't booted up for like at least a year. Yeah, cool, man. Well, that's it. I guess we've reached the end of your showreel. Yeah, well, I mean, like I said from the beginning, you have a really good showreel, and I think you are really talented. And I definitely would start your showreel with this car. I think it's definitely your best shot, and it's quite close to being the best one. If you improve a little bit better, I would say that after the car, I would say maybe perhaps go to the ship, maybe. And then maybe go to the forest with the church, and then end with the dude with the gun. You know, maybe that would be the order that I would go for the showreel. Yeah. But it's a really nice showreel. Congratulations. I think you did a really good job.
Nice. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me here.
No problem. I think you should be very proud, and especially because you're very young and you started not a long time ago, and it's already kind of showcasing me that you are very talented for your age and for the amount of time you've been doing this. So it's a really good showreel. you should be very proud of what you've accomplished already. So, yeah.
Yes, I am.
Good. Good. Well, is there anything else that you would like to discuss, Tim?
I think it's all set. So
Okay, cool.
thank
Cool.
Perfect.
Well, thank you so much, and I'll see you later then. Thank you.
Perfect. Gotcha.
Okay, cool. Thank you so much, Tim. Sorry that I clicked the button by mistake and it went a bit off on the chance. I'm so sorry for that. It was a bit too fast when I hit the button to switch off the call. I am so sorry for that. Didn't mean to cut you off there. But just wanted to really thank for calling in. Okay, so I just noticed that the showreel review that I used to have now, which would be the next one, the person that never came back to me and never said anything, they've canceled now because it's gone. The event is gone. So I'm assuming they probably canceled. Let me just double check here. So if they've canceled, then we're going to move on to the last one right away. But we're still going to do a break anyway. Yeah. And by the way, thank you so much to the chat. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you so much for all the little details and all the really cool feedback that you've been giving on the chat here. It's really been great. All the points that you've said, all the stuff you guys all saying, it's really nice. Thank you so much for being so active on the chat. I love our community. I really love to. And you guys are so nice. Everyone is so nice and help so much and are always so helpful. Thank you so much. Now, before we go to the break, I'm just going to mention I really wanted to thank Tyler Browning for donating to the chat. I can't thank you enough, my friend. I'm really, really happy that you've done a super chat. Thank you so much. You didn't need to do that, but I am really grateful that you're supporting the show so much. You've done that before as well, so I can't thank you enough for supporting the show once again. And you do have a question, so I'm going to read it out before we go to the break. Tyler asks on the super chat. I hope he's still here. I'm sorry that it took me a while to get to your answer. Your question. But Tyler asks, what is the process like compositing VFX into footage shot on film? I imagine it has to be converted to digital, but doesn't that defeat the purpose? Oh my God, that's a loaded question. Yes, well, yes and no. I guess I would say that it's a complicated question because a lot of directors and a lot of DOPs really love film because film does look different. You know, you have a different type of grain, you have a different type of emotion, the lighting, the blooming, the glow, lighting in general looks different in film. And this is really to do with the fact that film is a physical process. It's light coming through the lens and then burning the negative. And so there's an organic thing there that is very hard to replicate. And most digital cameras are extremely sharp and they're extremely good at representing real life. But a lot of directors and a lot of DOPs prefer the emotional tone that film has because it just looks different. The way light hits objects and the way you get the blooming and the way you get the light wrapping. It's just a different type of lighting. So normally the process is you use a digital converter. You use a digital, what's called a digital scanner. Now, there are many digital scanners in the world. Very expensive, really expensive thing to use. I'm going to just show you probably what I would say is the cheapest scanner you could get or you can have access, and that's from Blackmagic. I don't get paid by Blackmagic at all, but I'm just going to show you that Blackmagic a long time ago bought Cintel. And so this is the probably cheapest scanner you can find right now. This is a scanner for 35mm, which converts to digital files. As you can see, it's $35,000. It's quite expensive. But this is a scanner that, as it says there, it makes scanning in HDR, 35mm, 16 or 8. And it can get controlled by basically by Thunderbolt. So this thing is basically, as you can see, you put the film there, the 35 millimeter or the 8 or the 16, and then it goes across all this stuff, and then it gets scanned on a sensor there. Now this scanner, I can't remember. These photos are so, but that's so ridiculous. I can't remember. Yeah, what is the see, this is the scanning process. It gets scanned by the negative directly. Can't remember what the resolution of this one is, but it basically makes raw plates out of the scan. And so if you go to the text specs here, let's just have a look. There's 2 of them now, apparently. Oh, they have one for 8 mil and 16 and one for just 45. Okay, I didn't know that. So it's the same price, so I don't know why you wouldn't buy both, but okay, fine. So if I go to this one, what's the actual... Let's see here. Okay, native resolution is 4K, so it basically can scan maximum 4K Super 35, and that's why I was saying that it's the cheapest. I mean, there are scanners that can do 8K in the market. They're much more expensive. So that would be the process. You would basically scan your film with the Cintel, you know, and then it would become a Blackmagic RAW file, and then you can just use it as any other digital file. It gets scanned, it becomes a Blackmagic RAW file, and then when you're compositing it, you just have to be more careful on trying to mimic the emulation of film, and you have to mimic the glow and the bloom and the light wrapping that the film usually produces. And for those things, you tend to do things like you film grain plates with gray cards, or you use white cards. So you film gray plates, you film flares as well, you film light wrap examples, you film bokeh examples as well, you film lens grids, you film all those extra plates to help you to then integrate the CG into the world of film. And then once this is done, if you're distributing the film in film, like for example Christopher Nolan does, you know, Christopher Nolan films an IMAX and then he actually delivers an IMAX, and if you go to an IMAX theater, you can watch the actual film IMAX version. And so what happens is that the same way you see the Cintel scanner, there's also printers, you know, so you would do the reverse. You would finish the file digitally on Nuke and then color correct it in DaVinci, and then you would print that into a negative, to basically a print, not a negative, a positive print, which would then be distributed to the cinemas. So yeah, hope you were still here, Tyler, to answer. Yeah, that's it, really. Let's see here before we go. Anyone has the link to the showreel? I don't know, Tim. Is it available online, your showreel? Of course, obviously you send it to me. I'm not sure if it is available online. If it is available online, feel free to share it or letting me know. And then I should have done that during the stream, because of course you can't share it because I don't have... Well, maybe I can look it up, because if I put your name, I'm assuming I'll find it here somewhere. Let's have a look here. So showreel... see if I can find your showreel here. Yeah, I think that this would be the one. Let's see here. Yeah, I found your showreel. Need to like join. Okay, log in. Yes, I'll log in. That's fine. It's forcing me to log in on Vimeo. I think this is the showreel. Yeah, that's the showreel. So I'm gonna just share it since this is public. So I don't think you'll mind since it's public. So I'll just share it on the chat. So Tim's reel is here. Yeah, so I've just shared it on YouTube and I've just shared it on Twitch as well. There you go. Okay, did you answer anything else? Let's see here. That's really nice for you to say, Mark. Tim, you, for someone so young, you're so good. I've worked with people 10 years experience are not as good as you. That's really good, Mark, that you say that. Tim is really talented, yes, for someone so young. I think he will have a bright future. So really, really good work. Sajal says, I wonder what's the use of so many rolling parts of the scanner. Well, the rolling parts, that I know. The rolling parts of the scanner are to bring stability to the scanner. So this exists because this goes really fast. It scans in a really high speed. It's not frame by frame. I don't know actually the speed of this, but let's have a look. It probably says here somewhere. Let's see here. 3 spots. What does it say the speed? I know they're quite fast. Yeah, real-time scanning, you see? So if it's 90 minutes of the film, it takes 90 minutes. So it's real-time. So basically play it in real time. So if you have 90 minutes of film, it scans in 90 minutes. So it's a really fast. You see this. You just see the film going really fast. And so that's why you have so much rollers. Because what happens here is you need the rollers to stabilize the plate itself. So the film, by using so many rollers, it really stretches the film as much as it can. It also makes it, the perforation is fixed because there's so many perforated holes for it that it really becomes more and more and more and more stable. And by the time it's in here, then it rolls really quickly and it gets scanned correctly. So that's why you have so many rollers. Because if you just had 2 rollers, any little bump or any little piece of dust or anything would just bump it out. That's also why we have a window, because you see no dust can be inside there. So if just a little speck of dust, that's why you have the windows opening. It needs to be self-closed. It needs to really be, you need to really be careful with that. So that's why. Okay, so, and then I think Tyler did say something else. Tyler then followed up saying, so it really wouldn't defeat the purpose unless you are a purist. No, I don't think it would defeat the purpose. No, Tyler. The film just looks different. It's not like it's... Obviously, we can have a conversation that maybe you could replicate film in digital, and that is true. You could use grain, you can use emotion, you can use bloom and glows. So you could have a replication of film. But it will take you some time to get it really nailed, and on film it just gets it automatically. And so I think that's why so many directors love to film on film. Film is a really hard format for visual effects. It's really tough. So it's not easy, you know. Cool, man. Well, thanks so much for the question. It was really nice. Okay. We're going to do a break, and then after the break, we are going to continue with the last showreel review of the day, which is... Oh, look at that. I'm not delayed this time. The review was supposed to be at 6, and we are not at 6 yet, so I'm actually going to be ahead of schedule. I hope the person that was going to be on the review, hope they are ready. I hope so, because, like I said, one person canceled last minute. So I'm assuming that's why either they heard my post here or they just didn't reply. They never replied though. They never really emailed me saying that they needed to cancel. So, which is a shame. I feel like it would have been nice if they could have told me something. It would have been nice if you would have told me something. But anyway, okay. So I'll do the break now. 10 minutes as always. I need to stretch my legs. I need to drink some water. Do the same, please. Go in. We have responsible streams here. Go in, stretch your legs. Go and get some rest your eyes, and get some water. During the break, will be 10 minutes. You can time it if you want to. During the break, we will be basically watching several trailers. We'll have a trailer for the Before and Afters magazine. We'll have a trailer for my new course. We'll have a trailer for BenQ. We'll also have a trailer for the cooking book for my wife. If you are interested in cooking, you should really check out her book. Her book is really beautiful. She has a really nice recipes there as well. If you don't want to watch the commercials, because this is a commercial break, if you don't want to watch the commercials, you can just leave. It's not a problem. And you can put a timer for 10 minutes. But if you want to watch it, I'll put the links while we're watching them as well. But yeah. So I'll be right back. I'll be with you in 10 minutes. I'm just going to roll the the commercials here, and this would be for let's see here. Yeah, there you go. That's the one. Okay, well, I'll see you all very soon. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you all very soon.
Hello everyone! I'm super excited to give you a glimpse of my first cookbook, Green Recipes for All, featuring over 50 dishes inspired by amazing Mediterranean food. Inside you can find recipes made with a variety of fresh, healthy and versatile ingredients and popular plant-based products. These are great choices whether you already follow a plant-based diet or simply wish to cook a few weekly meat-free meals to reduce your overall meat consumption. In the book, you'll find a wide range of new and exclusive recipes, from soups and big salads to main courses and desserts, as well as some of the most popular recipes here on my channel, such as the perfectly cooked non-stick rice or the tabbouleh-style bulgur and mixed bean salad. Not forgetting a new version of the delicious tofu chocolate mousse. So, if you'd like to have a look at my book and try some of the recipes, just visit any Amazon marketplace and order a copy, which is available in hardcover, paperback or digital formats. Hope you enjoyed the book, have fun cooking, and see you next time.
Are you interested in learning compositing? My new course is currently 50% off. Join today to have access to 150 pre-recorded classes, 50 hours of training, using real production assets covering industry standard techniques with over 200 gigs of showreel material and access to a private Discord channel with over 2,300 students. This course is endorsed by Foundry and has access to a Foundry student license paid separately. Join today at hugosdesk.myshopify.com.
Befores and Afters magazine is the monthly print mag from VFX journalist Ian Fales. Go in-depth on key visual effects topics with major VFX supervisors, artists and studios. Each issue covers a different area like creature animation, miniatures, on-set VFX and VFX tools. Find your copy at beforesandafters.com/magazine.
Hello, I am back. Apologies for the delay. I was a bit delayed. I was trying to get something cool to drink and I got a bit delayed. Apologies for that. Yeah. Thank you so much for sticking around. We still have one Showreel review to do, and remember, we still have the giveaway as well to do as well. I'm gonna put forgot to put the link of the giveaway on the chat as well. It's on the top of the chat, but you know. As always, I have my mandatory. Where is it? It's here. Mandatory moment of green cola. It's really, really warm in London, so this is going to be even more nice. I keep saying this every time we do the stream. I do not get sponsored by Green Cola. I wish I was, but I'm not sponsored by them. But I do love their cola. It's a much more healthy alternative to Coca-Cola or to Pepsi, because it doesn't have some of the nasty acids that really break your teeth. So I really like it. It tastes really well. It's very different from Coca-Cola, but it exists on several countries, you know, and I really love it. And they do not sponsor the show, but I always go and get one. There you go. So cold. Ugh. Oh my god. That was so cold. It was like freezing like a brain freeze. Jesus. Oh my god. Anyway. We're gonna do the last. I'm struggling with the heat. I'm struggling with the. It is 27 degrees. Oh my god, why is it so hot in London? What's going on? The world is melting. I know. Oh, okay. You're saying in Ghana it's cold right now? Oh my god. Why is it 30 degrees here? I left Portugal, and now Portugal came back with a vengeance. Sejal asks, one more question when you come back. How do you Steam cam while you're playing the PS5? I don't have the main camera back there, so you can't see it, but there's a camera over here. I'm going to switch it on. I'll do that later, but in this side, on top of this monitor, which is the monitor I use for playing games, which is the BenQ SW27, I have another camera there. And that camera is this one. So that camera is over there. And then when I play games, basically, let's for a moment, for example, think that maybe let's put up the thing with the game, for example. So imagine that's the video game and I'm playing that video game, and then what I can do is when I put this, I put my camera, but on my controllers on the HTM Mini Extreme, I can then change the camera. So for example, that is then when I'm playing, it's that camera that I use. So when I'm playing, I'm doing this, you know. And so I'm playing my games here. And then you see my little head bobbing around. But in fact, this is the other camera I have. So I only have two cameras now these days. I used to have one camera back then. I still have the connections there. I just don't have it anymore there. Let's switch this camera. Doesn't matter. Switch this and have to have it on. So that's how I do it. It's not a standard webcam. No, it's this camera here, because nothing is standard with me, right? So this would be a Canon C100 Mark II, which is so let's see here. This is the camera I'm using. That is the camera I'm using for a webcam. I know, I realize it's a bit of an overkill, but it's a really cheap camera. Like, it's 10 years old, this camera. So this is the Canon C100 Mark II. Now, I do not have the top there. I don't put it in, and I don't put the back, and I don't put the side. So it's a much more light one. So I don't use the top shoe here, and I don't use the side, this grip, I don't have it on as well. So the camera is really tiny because of that. The reason I use this camera as a webcam is because it's really cheap. It's a super cheap camera. You know, you can, it's 10 years old. It's a full HD camera, 60 frames per second, really good low light camera. It also has autofocus, which is what I wanted for the streams. And so I bought this camera used. I bought it on a used website. I think it costed me, I think it was like £300 or something. It's a really cheap camera. Yes, it is an overkill, but I didn't buy it just for that, of course. I bought it because I thought that it would have been a good camera to have as a backup camera for interviews and for extra stuff. So, and I've used it on interviews many times, and I've actually took it with me to FMX, and I took it with me in several places. It's a really good camera to shoot, you know, to just film. So that's why. Yeah, so, and I'm feeding the whole thing through the ATM Mini. So this is what I use to... I think I've talked about this, or if I didn't, I thought I did. So this is what I use. I use that one. Basically, I use... Let's see here. Well, it's actually not that one, because this is the SDI. I don't use the SDI. I just use an HDMI one. I don't think they have that one anymore. Yeah, they don't. I think they took it out, because now they only have this one. Let's just see here. Yeah, they've replaced it with this one. So it would have been like this, but bigger. Mine has 8 spots, and so basically you have... this has 4 inputs. The one I have has 8 inputs, and so basically has different inputs for all your cameras and all your setups, and I do have a converter that converts the HDR of the game into SDR, so that when I'm streaming, you watch it in SDR. Yeah, I need to do a video. For that. Yeah, I know I can get a Sony A7, but no, that's too expensive. I just said I spent £300 and $300, and I have so many Canon lenses that it makes no difference. Then I can use those Canon lenses, you know. So that's why. Okay, so let's just do the stream. So just going to. Okay, so let's do the last showreel review. So the last showreel review is a bit early, so hopefully they're here. Hopefully. So it was supposed to only happen in 5 minutes from now, but hopefully they are here. It was supposed to happen in 7 minutes from now. But I'm going to join anyway. Maybe they will pop up. Oh yeah, they're already here. So that's great. That's great. That's even better. So let me just bring them in. Hello there. Can you hear me? Hello. Can you hear me? Can't seem to hear. Oh yeah, there you go. Now I can hear. Hello?
Hello. Hi, Hugo.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good.
Good. So, great. Well, thank you so much for being here. And I'm just going to do one thing here. I'm just going to like... Okay, so I'm going to... well, first of all, before we even start... you sent me 2 files, I believe. You sent me your showreel, and then you sent me the breakdown. I'm assuming you want to go to the normal showreel first, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay, cool. So I'm going to share my screen with you. so
Yeah.
that you can see the same as I do. So give me just a second. Yeah. So you probably should be seeing my screen now. Do you see my screen?
Yeah, I can
Uh,
see.
okay, great. So let's just open this up here then. I have not watched your showreel yet, but I will in a second. And I'm gonna just loop it and have it on here while we talk. I'm gonna put it on the screen as well for everyone to see. So before we even start, my friend, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and where you're calling from? Yeah, tell us a little bit about you.
Mm, I'm calling from India. So my name is Shravan. So
Shaban,
I'm working
you said? Shaban?
Shravan, SRAVA.
Okay, cool.
So I'm from India. So I am working as a junior compositor in Little Baxter Visual Effects in India.
Okay, cool. And how long have you been working? Like, what's your experience?
So firstly, I am 3D journalist for a year, and after I moved into VFX compositing.
Okay.
It's
And
2 years of compositing experience.
And so this showreel that we're watching, it doesn't really have any information. So what kind of project is this? Is this private? Is it production from a company? What's going on this showreel?
It's like a private project. Me and my colleagues done when we are in free time after office.
Okay, so none of this is production. It's all personal work then.
It's our personal, yes.
Everything. Okay, cool. Can I ask you why you have the breakdowns as a separate video? Is it because you're still working on the showreel, or because I know you have the breakdowns separately here?
So currently I'm working on few shots now. Water shots are finished 6 months back.
You'll put them together then. Is that what you mean?
I did last minute cut off the breakdowns.
Okay. Yeah, Sajal is saying that your voice is chopping up, and it's chopping up a bit, so the signal is a bit weak. Are you calling from your phone, from a computer? Where are you calling from?
I'm from computer.
From a computer? Okay, cool. Yeah, it's breaking up a bit, so are you using a microphone on the computer? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, microphone.
Yeah, so could you make sure the microphone is close to your mouth and it's close to you when you talk?
Okay.
Yeah, great. Can you talk a little bit now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hello?
that's much better. We can hear you much better now. Okay, cool. So yeah, so I guess on your breakdown you have the final shots anyway, so I might as well just use the breakdown to go through the shots. So I'll probably, because I think, are they all the same shots on the breakdown that you have on the normal reel? It is, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's the same shots, right?
Yeah, both are same only.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's start with the first shot. Tell me a little bit about this. So this is this shot with the taxi and the explosion. What did you do on this shot? What's going on? Because it doesn't really, you didn't wrote here what you've done. So what did you do on this shot?
So I downloaded the buildings from the Git bash and
Okay.
the lighting part comp.
Okay. And so where did you use Maya, Houdini? Where was what softwares did you use?
Oh, I used Houdini for lighting and Nuke for compositing.
Okay, cool.
That exposure done by my colleague.
Your colleague?
In Houdini.
What did your colleague do, sorry?
So he do FX.
Okay. So I think it looks nice. It's a nice shot. Is this the breakdown? I think this is the breakdown. Do we have a? Oh, you don't have a breakdown for that shot. Okay. So this is not. This is like the other shot. Then it's like on the normal show reel. You don't have a breakdown for that one. Okay. I think it looks nice, but it needs a bit more work in terms of lighting and shading, and also in compositing. So if you look closely here, you have this massive blue fireball of whatever this is. I don't really know what it is, but it's like this blue misty thing that is coming through, and it's really big. And I'm assuming it's like destroying the city, right? It's like or is it just gas? Is it gas or fire?
It's like explosion type.
Explosion? Okay.
Yeah, color explosion type, that kind.
Okay. If it's exploding, then I think that it's missing a few things. Like and that's why I was asking if it was gas, because you see, as it involves the objects, as it engulfs the objects, they don't really disintegrate or they explode or burn up. They just stay there and get involved inside this this fireball. So, for example, this I guess this is like a news kiosk or something. It looks like a nice little building that you had there. See, it's untouched by it. It doesn't really move, and the car only moves a little bit later. I kind of feel that you needed to work on that, on get more integration and interaction between the objects that are getting affected by this explosion.
Okay.
The other thing as well is that it would be nice to see some kind of interaction and integration with the building itself. Like, if you have such a massive explosion, why don't these windows break, for example? Why don't they just shatter? And you actually see, just by the pulse of the explosion, why don't they actually break and fall apart and fall down? It looks to me like that. And not to mention the monitor on the window is still working perfectly. It doesn't really have a moment where it completely malfunctions or breaks down because of the explosion. So it would have been nice if you had flickering lights, or the monitor could flicker, or the light sources could flicker by the impact of the explosion. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then the other thing as well, there is this layer, this very strange layer of smoke that you have that goes on top, which is almost like this semi-transparent smoke. Is this also part of the 3D, or is this a 2D element that you put in?
It's like we try to add a shockwave.
A shockwave, yeah. But a shockwave wouldn't be so thin. This is like a shockwave of dust, it's like really, it wouldn't be so transparent, it wouldn't be so thin, and it would affect the objects around it. So because it's a shockwave, you would have seen this car move a bit. You would have seen the camera shake when you get hit by the shockwave as well. So there is, not only it misses the shockwave itself, because it's a shockwave, it should be shaking things as it progresses through the screen. It's also very thin, very transparent. It should be much thicker and much more heavy than it is right now, because it's so subtle that you hardly understand what it is, You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it.
Okay.
We tried adding dust and particles in the shockwave, but
Yes, go ahead.
it's not working out. That's why we had only smoke.
Okay. Yeah, so I do think you need to increase the shockwave and have more. Also, GLM is also giving some good suggestions. Maybe, you could have heat waves or camera shakes to increase the intensity of this explosion. Because it should be, like Sajal is saying, a force of wind. A shockwave is a force of wind that should be hitting the cars around it, so. And then you have also the other thing as well. I think it's all very calm. It's, the cars are just slowly moving. Everyone is so relaxed on this scene. This massive explosion is happening, and the car is just like traveling around and almost like it's in vacation. They're just looking at the city, or in the van as well. It's all very calm, and I think you need to increase the danger of the shot by having more chaos, by having camera shakes, by having more shockwaves and all of those things,
Yeah. We need to update the animation, I think.
Yeah, that could help. That could help. So the other thing as well that I would say is that it's a very strange explosion. Could you tell me a little bit, why is the explosion purple and blue? What was the thinking behind that?
Okay, that explosion was inspired from the Birds of Prey movie, Chemical Explosion.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Could you say that again? I couldn't understand what you said.
So from the movie of Birds of Prey.
Birds of what? Sorry?
Birds of Prey.
Birds of Prey. Okay.
Yeah.
And so, it has a blue explosion.
Not only blue, it's mixed with colors like green, blue, yellow, orange, everything.
Okay, so Birds of Prey. Is that what you mean?
Prey. Yeah.
Prey.
Yeah.
Okay. And so, is this actually available somewhere? Okay. It's okay. Oh yeah. So it's the Harley Quinn sequence. Okay, I see.
Yeah.
The Ace Chemical scene. Okay, I see what you mean. Well, it will be shown as soon as the commercial goes away. Come on. Okay. Yeah, I know exactly which shot you're talking about. Okay, I see what you mean. Yeah. So let me just.
You can.
I think it's a bit. Yeah, it's a bit later. It happens kind of. I think it's there. Yeah, there you go.
Yes.
But you see, here's the thing. This is what I kind of thought. That's why I wanted to ask you what kind of explosion is. I think you're missing a lot of brightness in your explosion. Explosions are usually very bright things. You see here, even if you look at the green ones and the purple ones and the yellow ones, I think not only you're missing the core explosion itself, the actual part that is fire, in your explosion. I think you're missing fire elements on the explosion. It's always also very dull. It doesn't have enough light. It needs a lot more light, so it looks like an explosion. That's why when I saw it, I thought, oh, is this smoke? Is it like a smoke grenade that exploded or something? It's like a smoke affecting the city. I think you're very far away from an explosion. You need to make it a lot more brighter, and you need to make it just like they did here on the film. They have a lot of really hot spots. There's really large overexposed hot spots. I think you need that, and then once you do that, also you need the environment to be lit up by that explosion. So as soon as you brighten up that explosion and have more hot spots with fire, I think you also need the entire environment to brighten up by it, just like you see on Harley Quinn's film, where it's almost dark. Like when you look at here, if we go all the way back to the beginning, you see it's a quite dark alleyway where she is. And notice how much brightness comes from the explosion. It literally lights up the entire screen. The whole environment, the floor, everything is brightened up by that explosion. So I'm missing that. I'm missing your floor being brightened up by this explosion. So just have a think about that and see if you can bring it in, Yeah.
We need to work on the shader and try to bring that hot spots.
Okay. Thanks so much, Sajal. Have a nice day, my friend. Thank you so much for all the comments and everything. I'll see you later, my friend. I'll see you later. Yeah, I'm going through your other comments as well. Thank you so much for all the comments you gave throughout this entire And you see, Mark Bell here is making a good point. Look at how light spills through the dust and smoke. Needs some environmental lighting. I think that's really it, really. Just wanted to do a quick shout out to Pedro Alves 3D, which subscribed on Twitch Prime on my Twitch channel. Thank you so much, Pedro Alves, for subscribing to my channel. It means a lot to me. Thank you so much for that support. It's really, really kind of you to become a supporter on the channel. Okay, so you know then what to do. I think you still have a lot of work to do on this shot. I guess the word I would give to you and your colleagues is make it dangerous. You know, make it more dangerous. Make it so that it's a scary thing. A lot of brightness, a lot of explosion, shaking. Make it more scary, you know. Because at the time, right now, it's very dull, very subdued, very calm, and not really scary, you know.
Yeah.
Cool.
So,
yeah? Anything else that you wanted? Okay, cool. Yes, go for it.
So can we update any lighting things in the shot?
If you
environment lighting.
If you can what? Sorry, what did you say?
Can we change the lighting direction? Like it's dull currently.
Well, that's a question for you, right? I mean, I don't know. You are the one doing the shot, so I would definitely change the lighting so that the lighting comes from the explosion, and you have. I would leave the other source lights, but I think the city itself has light, and that's fine. But I think your explosion should be much brighter, and it should be a source of light. The explosion itself, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to the next shot. So. The rest is looking. By the way, it looks really nice. The volumetric and the whipness of the wispness of the explosion looks really nice. I think it's a good looking shot. You just need to improve on those things to make it look realistic. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, we will.
Yeah. What's going on with this shot then? This shot here with I'm assuming this is money. Is this money? Is this?
Yeah, it's money.
Okay.
Money falling from the sky.
Okay, so the money is there, and then so first out of the bat, the first thing I would tell you is that your sky texture is incredibly low resolution. You see, I actually see the pixels on your clouds. So I think you need to get a much more higher resolution sky background for this scene. Because you kind of see the pixels there, and you see the pixelization of this cloud. You see a little bit of this one. You see also some pixels here as well. The only part that is good is this part here on this side. I just think you need to find a much more high resolution thing, you know. So
yeah.
And I agree with Gazi D on the chat on YouTube. Explosions are really hard to do. I completely agree, Gazi. I think you did a great job. You know, I think you actually did a great job. Sorry, your name was Siva, right? What was your name? Sorry again.
Shravan.
Seven. Okay, seven. You said.
Yeah, Shravan.
Shravan. Okay. So Shravan, I think you did a good job. I mean, if you look at the end of this part, you know, this is looking really nice. So if you imagine, I think you did a good job with the explosion. I think if you imagine putting a lot more brightness into it, a lot more punch to it, I think it will look really spectacular. So, okay. So yeah, so for this shot, really try to look for something with more resolution in terms of the sky. The rest is okay. How was this done? Like, is this you guys did all the 3D, or how is this shot going? How was it done?
So the crate was downloaded, and that money bills were modeled in Maya.
Okay.
So again, we simulated that money in Houdini and combed in Mu.
Okay, and what about the crate? Is that an asset from somewhere? Where's that from?
I think it's from Polyhaven, like
Okay.
Kitbash. I forgot that site.
Yeah.
I
I
think
think
I downloaded that.
Yeah, I think you need a lot of work on that crate. The crate is very even. Like all the wood looks exactly the same. Usually crates have cracks on them. They have little chips on them. They have little pieces of dirt and wear and tear. Crates are usually not brand new, and this crate looks like it's brand new. Crates get used a lot. They get scratched. They have little hits of cracks on the wood. So I think anything you can do to make more details into these pieces of wood, to make it more cracked and more old and more scratched, would really help your shot. And then the sky, of course, like we've mentioned, I think it needs a lot more resolution. Then the simulation looks cool. I think you did a really good job with the way the wind forces the money to fly through. This is really nice. It's really nice, and also the ropes that are covering the money. It's really good work. So yeah, I think this is nice. I just feel like it would look much better if you had a better sky with more resolution, and then if you could work a bit on these crates, on the wood crate, to give it more detail. That would have been nice. Yeah, I've never seen anything like this, so I don't really have a reference, because I've never seen a crate of money flying down. So, but I think you did a good job. Yeah. Music Video King on YouTube says, "Is that drug money?" What was this? Who had this idea? Was it you that had the idea to do this shot?
No, it's my colleague's one, but we saw one old movie, like some guys are taking the crates on the plane.
Yeah, and then imagine
Oh,
it fall down out of the plane or something.
yeah. From that image, we tried this.
Sajal says money won't fly out like that, as those are stamped in bundles. Yeah, it's stylized, Sajal. I know that, but it looks so much nicer like this. Yes, that is true. Money would be stamped together as blocks of like $1,000. I don't know. I've never had blocks of money like this, but it looks so much cooler if it's just flying around. So I can understand why it is like that. Okay, next shot here we have these water droplets flying through the air. Tell me a little bit about this shot.
So this one, we simulated the water droplets from Houdini, and also done lighting in Karma.
Okay.
So we added slow-mo effect.
It's a nice shot, but what is the? I think it's a nice shot, but what's the purpose of this shot? Because I can't really understand exactly what it is. Like, what is your objective with this shot? Is this part of another shot? Is it just some droplets flying through the air? Is there another thing that I'm not following? Because what's the idea behind it?
Idea about. So have you seen any Moonfall movie? In that movie,
Yeah. I've seen Moonfall. Yeah.
so when moon coming closer to the earth, the gravity
Oh, I
we
see.
have.
I see.
That.
That's what you're trying to do. Okay, I see. Yeah, I wasn't really following that because there's no shot before or after to explain what you're trying to do, so that's why I was a bit unsure. I think you did a good job, but the water needs. I think you went a bit too far with glow, and it's making it a bit unrealistic to see so much glow on the shot, and I think that's coming from the compositing. Maybe tone down the glow because it makes it a bit unrealistic, and in fact, I think certain stages of your breakdown look better than the final comp, because of the amount of glow and gloom that you have on the shot, especially a little bit further to the end of the shot. But it looks cool. I think it's nice. Okay. Then let's move on to the next shot. This ship shot. What's going on here?
So we tried to do one water sequence shots. So I downloaded that from internet, and we simulated the water sequence in Houdini and lighting also. I added snow, fog layer, and comp.
Okay.
We-
There's a couple of things that I would say for this shot. Thanks so much, Eric. Good to see you as well. Thank you so much. I'll see you later, my friend. And you're very welcome, Pedro. Pedro is on Twitch, thanking me for the support, and thank you so much, Pedro, for all the support. And very nice to see another Portuguese here on the chat. That's great. I think there's a couple of things that I would say to you, Stravan. I think that the shot looks okay, but there's a couple of things. First of all, this cloud that is in the foreground here doesn't really look like a cloud. It almost looks like a noise generation. It looks very unrealistic as a cloud. I think it would have looked better if it was a thicker cloud, or maybe not have a cloud at all, because it looks like a very low resolution piece of noise that you put in. Is this cloud actually a piece of CG, or is it the 2D element that you put in?
Yeah, it's I use a noise node for that.
Yeah, I think you need to build that up and make it more like a cloud, because it looks really like smoke, and it's a bit strange. Doesn't really look like a cloud. And then the other thing as well that I have a problem with, I think the boat looks okay. It's a bit too repetitive, and it's a bit too empty. Like, I mean, it is a ghost ship. There's no one on board, which is a bit strange. You should have people walking around. You should have people on the ship. And so it's making it look very strange that you have this entire front of the ship with the little pool and the other pool, and there's no one lying on the sun. There is no one in the pool whatsoever. No one inside the water. It's like a ghost ship that everyone is dead or something. And it makes a difference, you know. Even if you had very subtle little CG people walking around, it would have really helped to sell the shot, you know, I think. And then I think also your water simulation looks okay at first glance, but it's a really strange foam. The foam that you made on the boat, well, first of all, such a big boat, because it's a massive boat. You look at the seats there on the pool. The foam wouldn't be so sideways. Like, your foam would be much more closer to the boat, because the boat is so massive. And so your foam is so massive that it makes it look like a small boat, so the scale is a bit off. Your foam is kind of looking like the foam you would get from a small boat or from a jet ski. So I think your foam really needed to be much more diagonal and much more closer to the ship, and not really go so much sideways. Not only that, it's also too fast for the scale of the ship. It's way too fast. And also the look of it, the front is okay, but then the leftover foam that you have looks too much like actual, what's the name? It almost looks like when you have soap on water and you get bubbles from soap. So it's almost looking like detergent, or it's looking like a soapy water from a bathtub, and not really ocean water. Like, the foam on ocean water would be much more wispy and much more smaller and much more detailed, but smaller. I think it's just the scale. It just makes it wrong, the scale. And then there's other things as well, like the water surface on the pool is completely wrong. Like, the water on pools doesn't look like that. This looks like a solid. It's almost like it looks like they have a sheet of plastic on top of the pool. So it's not water, because first of all, it's not moving. and it should
Yeah.
ever so slightly move. But because you are looking from the top and it's a sunny day, you would see the interior of the pool. And so you would see some, either the marble of the pool, or you would see maybe the lines inside the pool. You would see something in the pool. It wouldn't be completely solid like that, almost like the water, almost like that's a big gallon of juice or something, you know. Needs to have some more, you know, yeah. GLM, you're trying to put a link on the chat. Is that what you're trying to do? I think I don't have links on because I've had so many problems in the past. Acoustic, yeah, you're missing. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I think. And yeah, also like I was gonna get there, but GLM Studio on YouTube, on the chat on YouTube, is also talking about the black edge. You do have a really massive black edge on the entire boat, like the front, the side. There's this massive black edge around the boat. It could be like, yeah, go for it.
It's like a metal rim around the boat.
Oh, I see.
On frame.
It looks really strange. It looks like it's almost like a pre-multiplication error. Yeah. Maybe it's just unfortunate that it's being seen by the top. Yeah. So I think if you could make the foam smaller and have more, like a bigger scale, so the boat doesn't look so tiny. If you would put people on the actual boat walking around, if you could fix the pool, I think it could look like a cool shot. But as it stands, it has quite a lot of problems, you know.
Yeah. No.
Okay, cool.
We will add people on the boat again.
Yeah. Then you have someone, I'm assuming on the same boat, and they're jumping into the water, right? So they jump into the water. And yeah, and you did a really good job with this. I think, you know, it is, of course, the character itself. It's a bit off in terms of lighting. It kind of feels like maybe in compositing I would really try to brighten up the person a bit more, because it feels strange that their skin looks very white and reddish from the sun, but then the legs look dark. It almost looks like you have two different types of skins in the same body, you know. So that is a bit peculiar, that the woman has, you know, the typical pinkish skin from being on the sun, which is really nice. That's working really nice. But then somehow she has the legs that are dirty or something. They're like dirty legs, which is very strange. I would definitely go to compositing and try to fix that. Because it shouldn't really be like that. It shouldn't look like that. And also, if anything, her legs would be bright because there's so much sun here. There's the sun, there's the sky, there's the water. Everything is reflecting, so you would definitely have the whole thing with a lot of light, you know.
Yeah.
And then it goes in the water, and this is really nice. You did a really good job with this. I mean, the only thing I think you did a really good job with the bubbles and going through it. It kind of loses the momentum a bit. Like, as it goes in, that's really nice. It would have been nice if you, in compositing, would have done a wet pass here. So when it crosses the camera, I think it would have been nice to have the camera a bit wet. And also, I think it's too dark. Like, it's completely sunny here. See the amount of sun and light you have here? And as she crosses the water, this is pitch black. So it almost looks like she just went underwater, but she went to an abyss or something. So you need a lot more brightness on the top area of this water to match what we've just saw. So it would never be this dark because there's so much light on top of the water. You see what I mean?
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah, exactly. I hope it's okay. I know I'm going through and giving you a lot of feedback and everything, but I hope it's okay. I don't feel too bad about it. You know?
It's okay. That's why I uploaded. On the live, I want feedback from the supervisor.
Good. Yeah. So don't be too dissuaded by it. You know, I think you have good work here. It just needs a bit of polish, you know. So,
Yeah.
and there's more people here on the chat giving some really good advice, you know. Mark says, I feel the lighting on the ship needs a little work. The shadows would be harder unless it's an overcast day. Mark has a really good point. Probably the shadows wouldn't be this blurry. There should be sharp shadows because it's a sunny day. And Mark also says some variation on the shaders would be cool. Maybe the wood feel different from the white metal materials. You know, also Sajal is saying the wood on the deck could need some specular, and that's nice because usually wood decks are cleaned, and so you would get some specular reflections and specular highlights from it as well. So that's good. And then the water, like I said, you need to make the water brighter when it connects. And then this all looks really nice, the bubbles and everything. It kind of loses a bit of realism when it gets to here. And the reason for that is because, first of all, the bubbles are a bit strange at this stage. I think it needed less bubbles, and you needed more of water viscosity almost. Like it looks almost like a particle system of little dots or dirt that is coming through. And so it works really well when you're here because this is motion blurred. But as soon as we get out of the motion blur, we get these really nice big bubbles. But then I think these are too many small bubbles. I don't believe it would look like that, and especially because it's not completely connected with her body. There's like almost like she has a force field around her. And see, the bubbles are not really straight to the body. And then the animation is a bit strange, like almost looks like she has a broken arm here. The way she's moving around and putting the arm like that. She almost looks like she has a broken neck here as well. So it's a very stiff piece of animation. So it would be nice if it would be smoother when she moves. Who did this, by the way? Is this an animation you already got from someone, or did you guys do it yourself?
Yeah, we got by myself only.
Okay, I see. Anything you can do to try to make it smoother so it looks like she's actually going through the water and not looking like she's diving down again, which is really strange. It's like she's moving forward, but she's in a curve. I don't know. It's just a bit stiff. It needs a more smooth animation when she comes in to the water. And anything you can do to make these particle systems, these bubbles, to be less visible and more merged into the water surface so that you would get the typical displacement of water, but not really the bubbles these big, you know. So, okay. And then the next shot, she's jumping. This is insane. Like, how would she jump this much? This is really like an insane shot. She would never be able to jump this much. So what's the deal with that? Like, is she going through someone underneath is helping her or something? What's going on here?
She's like a superwoman, like it's
Oh, she's a superwoman. Okay.
like the movie.
Good answer. That's a good answer.
That's the movie name. Aquaman movie.
Okay, I see.
That
Okay.
guy.
Yeah, with Jason Momoa. Yeah.
Water guy.
Yeah. I think if you can believe that, then it's fine. I still think you did a bit of job here. I think this is looking nice. I like the splash of water that comes down. It's still a bit stiff, the animation, but you can maybe make her a bit more natural because it almost looks like she's like a bit stuck in the air and falling down. I don't know, like it would have been nicer if it would be smoother. But you did a good job with the splashes going on with the dolphins, the waters out of the dolphins as well. Surface of the water is looking good. The sky is looking good. You have a nice breakdown here, which is really nice. And then she goes into the water again. I like also the splash dynamics that you have here as it hits the water. It also affects the surface around the water. That's really nice work. And the way the dolphin goes in, which is really nice because dolphins are very aerodynamic, so they do not splash as much anyway. So that's really good, really nice touch. Splashes a lot less than her, which is correct. The dolphins are much more aerodynamic. Yeah. XG Ryan is asking on YouTube here, what softwares did you use on this shot?
Yeah, Houdini and Nuke.
Okay, cool.
Almost Houdini.
Cool. That answers the question. Okay, cool. So let's get into this shot. This shot looks remarkably like the Paramount Pictures logo intro. So is that the idea?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah. It looks really nice. You did a really good job with this. I think it looks really nice with the little magic hour lighting there. You know, the surface of the snow and the ice looks nice. The frozen lake looks really cool as well. The smoke and yeah, you did a really good job. This is a nice shot, all the way to up here. I think it is a shame. I feel like it's a little bit of a shame that you kind of go sideways with the camera and then it kind of goes a bit berserk there. There's like I think you're getting too close to the mountain and it loses scale because of that. And then it's almost like the texture of the mountain doesn't hold up for you to be this close, you know, because it lacks detail. You see, when you really look closely, starts to lack detail. And then we go through here, and also the camera move is a bit crazy as well. So I think it's a really nice shot, but when you look at this moment here, look at this moment, for example, before you see that frame, this looks more real than that frame. This is because I think you went too far with depth of field, and you went too far with blur, and you went too far with motion blur. I think this looks much more realistic. When you shoot and film something this wide with an helicopter, you tend to have a very sharp plate. And so I think it doesn't help your plate to put so much blur on it. I think it's too much blur. And I really think you need to tone down that and make it much sharper, you know. To a point that I'm looking at this frame and I think this frame looks terrific. This is it. This is your shot. You don't need to put all that depth of field on top of your shot, you know.
Yeah.
It just ruins the shot, really, I think. There's some more comments, by the way, on the chat on YouTube. If you go to the chat, we're streaming on Twitch as well, but there's mostly comments on YouTube, on the chat on YouTube. But there's some more comments that you can read as well from our community about the shot before, about the woman jumping there. And there's some nice comments here. You know, Ghazi is saying a little movement with the leg would make it look more real. That is true. GLM says the dolphin's tail should have some animation, because all the videos I see of dolphins jumping out of the water don't keep their body straight. The tail always comes correct. I stand to be corrected, though. I do think you're right with the tail. And then, yeah. Okay, cool. Cool. Yeah, so go and try and experiment not having so much depth of field. I think it would really improve the realism in your shot. Not have so much defocusing. And as we go through here, then there's a huge battle here with cannons and everything. And then there's like this guy here flying through the air. Let's just go through the shot a little bit more. This is the breakdown. I'm going to open up the original one because I want to see the full shot in a row. Let me just, without the breakdown. It's a really long shot. This is a tricky shot you guys done here. It's a really,
Almost
really...
600 frames, I think.
What did you say, sorry?
It's almost 600 frames.
Yeah, it's insane. It's really, really... wow, you guys went all in on this thing. This is a really long shot. It's terrific. I think you did a great job. I mean, there's some things that I would say we already started. I think this all looks really cool. I think the beginning looks great. There's nothing wrong with it. I think it looks really pretty and really well done. It's up to here that it starts to fall apart, and I think it has to do with the defocusing. It kind of falls apart. Once we get into here, this is 2D focused, needs to be a bit sharper. And as you go in here, that's all okay. I mean, I think this is nice. We go through here. We didn't have the explosions. You're a bit off with the camera shake. The explosion goes off, and the camera shake only happens later. And be careful with these explosions, because these explosions are not affecting the environment. They should be lighting up the environment around them. And they should also clearly having light up the cannon. The cannon should be lighting up by it. You should have a light rim here of this explosion. The same goes for that cannon. This cannon, this explosion should be lighting up this environment and should be lighting up the cannon itself, and actually should be lighting that cannon. So they should both be lighting each other with the lighting of those explosions, you know. I think most of your fires are having that problem. None of your fires are affecting the things around it. You see, if I have this fire, they should light up these dudes, and they should light up those dudes. Or are these fires rendered separately? Is that what's happening?
Yeah, it's rendered separately.
Yeah, you need to integrate them and have a light pass for them, you know.
Yeah, we need to add indirects with that.
Yeah. I think that would help. I think that would help a lot. Okay. And then this is really cool. This is a nice shot. Like I like this a lot with the soldier in the middle of the air. Not sure what happened there. He's really high up. Like, so is he been exploded by a cannon as well? Is that what's happening?
Yeah. Someone hit him with a cannon.
And then as he flies, that's all nice. And then we go through here. Massive army fighting. How did he do this? Is this Houdini as well?
Houdini crowd simulation.
Okay, I see. Yeah, and again, I think those fires need to affect the environments. I think you need to like be careful with that, and especially the light source. You see this fire here? It's so dim. It doesn't have really a core light. It needs to have more brightness. This is a pure daytime scene. It shouldn't be this dull. It shouldn't be this dark, this fire. And as it hits as well, this is a good hit, but again, it doesn't make any light interaction whatsoever to anyone around it. So you need to be careful with that. With all these lights and fires, they need to integrate more. Now, everything was going really well, but as you get closer and closer, I wouldn't get this close, because you see, now I start to see that these 3D elements are not good enough. You know, see, this cannon, for example, is not whole. It's actually not... should have a hole on it because it's a cannon, so that's closed off, and the texture quality and the detail quality is too low because you went too close. So I think it's all good when you're really far away, but when you get this close, I think these two elements should be hero elements. That means you should work on them. You should make more textures and more details and work as a final asset with a lot more detail, because we're too close on camera on them. So either you don't go this far, or you need to make them as hero elements, you know. And then the explosion again, same deal. I think it's a bright daytime, should be a lot more powerful, a lot more glowy, a lot more punchy with the inner fire. Should also lit up the environment with this fire. So this cannon right next to it, look at this. There's a huge fireball, and the cannon is just there. There's no light interaction on the cannon. It needs to have all those light interactions between them. That's what's going to sell the shot, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool, man. Well, we reached the end. Look at that. So, do you have anything else that you would like to say or ask or anything?
Thank you for reviewing my showreel.
No, not a problem. You're welcome. You're very welcome. I hope that helped you find a way to make the shot better. And do you have anything else that you would like to say or would like to talk about?
So I would like to talk about that first shot. Have you seen that?
The what, sorry?
Oh, shot one.
The shot.
That explosion.
Yes, go for it. What is it?
So could you please give me some? I need to improve that shot, like a final one.
You're talking about the first shot?
This shot.
This
I
shot?
want like this one only.
Yeah.
So I want to finish this shot like a final one, but need some feedback, like what could help with the cars and
I'm sorry. I thought I did that. Like we went through the whole shot and we talked a lot about a lot about a thing about a lot of things on the shot. So
Yeah.
what else do you want to know then? Yeah.
the layout.
The what?
I
Sorry.
think the layout is like a old kind of buildings.
I don't believe the layout is the problem of your shot. It's not the layout. It's not what you have on the shot. It's not the buildings. It looks nice. The rendering looks nice. The texturing looks nice. The shot looks good enough. It's just the explosion itself. The explosion itself needs to be brighter. Needs to be more explosive. It needs more have more core of fire into it. You need to have more camera shakes. You need to have more shockwave and just more chaos on this explosion, because you are on the ground inside this car and you would be really affected by the explosion this big if you're this close, That's really it.
Yeah, we'll improve that.
Yeah. And like Sejal is saying on the chat on YouTube here, you could enhance the central building. For example, you could have animation, lighting, shading, secondary animation, all sorts of things you could have. For example, imagine the lights inside the building could be flickering when the explosion happens, or you could have some of the windows of that middle building with the glass could break inside the windows. There's a lot of things you could do to make it more detailed,
Yeah.
Yeah.
We try to break the buildings of the left.
Breaking the building would be nice. Yes, I think it would be good to do that, and I think to have breakup and to have debris flying, and that could look really nice as well.
Yeah.
You got Sajel as well here on the chat saying that he can help you if you want to redo the shot, if you want, of course. So maybe reach out to him and talk to them, and you can always talk to each other and have a chat as well offline. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, it was a pleasure. Was a pleasure talking to you, and thank you so much for coming along for the review. And I hope that helped you.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the reviewing.
No problem. You're always welcome to come back once you have the shot more ready. So just contact me again, and you have my email now, and just message me if you want to chat more. Okay.
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 Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Look at that. We've done it. It's done. 3 hours later, it is done. Okay, cool. So, yeah. I guess, yeah, Sajal, I know I didn't went through the whole thing on the shot. There was more things to talk about, but, yeah. Hey, CTPOH. It's been a while since I've talked to you, I think. Thank you so much for coming around. You're on Twitch, but I'm also streaming on YouTube, by the way. I'm streaming on both places at the same time. Okay, cool. So we are now done for today. The only thing left is my giveaway. Now, we didn't reach the giveaway goal. We had a goal today. I forgot to mention that at the beginning, but if I had 5 super chats, I would have given a second giveaway. Either 5 super chats on YouTube, or if I got 5 extra subscribers on Twitch, I would have done an extra giveaway. Should have mentioned this on the very beginning. But I'm still working on this. It's the first time I've actually tried this over. But since we didn't reach that, we only will have one giveaway. But in the meantime, before I jump into the giveaway, I left the link on the chat if you guys want to have a look. And while that's happening, I'm also going to put it on the screen. So that's the giveaway, the link in the QR code. In the meantime, don't forget, also, I would love to thank everyone that made this stream possible while we're waiting for the giveaway. First of all, of course, BenQ. Without them, I wouldn't be able to do this stream. But also, I would not be able to do this stream without the support of my Patreons and my YouTube members. And so, my Patreons, I have several tiers, and of course, my producer level Patreons, which are the highest tier on my Patreon. And so I would love to thank Adrian and Ben, Daniel, David, Felix, Hiroshi, Kazuma, Kazumna, and Perty, Peter, there's 3 Peters, and this is Left Fig as well. Thank you so much for supporting my channel so much. You've been there for years supporting the channel. Could not do this channel without your lovely support on Patreon. And of course, I would not do this stream without the rest of my Patreons and my YouTube members. I'm not going to read all of them because there's quite a lot of names. But I'll leave the names on the screen there for a moment while I am going through the giveaway. So let's see how many people do we have on the giveaway. Let's have a look. Yeah. Ryan, you sent a question about the course. Okay, I'll try to see. Maybe I've missed it. I'll look for it today. Apologies if I missed your question. Apologies. I'll look it up today. Don't worry. Okay, how many people have signed up? Let's see here. I have 41 people on the giveaway. That's great. So thank you so much to the Patreons and to BenQ as well. Don't forget that Monday we have the premiere of the next VFX Notes podcast. The next VFX Notes podcast is going to be all about Civil War, and you can already go to that page and you can wait there. It's going to be a premiere. This is the first time I'm doing that on the podcast. So Monday at 6 o'clock, I'm going to publish the episode, and there will be a chat room so people can talk while we watch together the episode, all of us together. So there's a chat room just like a live stream, but it's a pre-recorded video. So it will be next Monday, and this is going to be the first of a series of season. It's a new season of the podcast where we go through the other films that were nominated, that were not nominated for the Oscar for visual effects. So every year there is 5 nominees for the visual effects side, for the visual effects Oscar, and there's another 5 which are what they call the Bake Off, which are 10 nominees. So we have these 10 episodes that are part of this season. The first episode will be Civil War. And we are dropping them every week, and there's several of them as well. So feel free to check that out. Also keep an eye as well, of course, on my second channel. I'm not gonna play today, most likely. I'm gonna play tomorrow, but keep an eye that I'm most likely I've been playing Death Stranding 2, so I don't think I'm gonna play today. I'm a bit tired. It's already 7, so I think I'm gonna play tomorrow, not today. I'm a bit tired. This game takes a lot out of you, so it's a hard game to just jump in and just like play. You need to be. It's almost like it's a job, almost like a job. Okay, let's draw the winner and see who won the course. Okay, so drawing the winner now. And okay, I have a winner here. Let's see. Now, someone was asking me when is the next showreel review. So I'll be back in beginning of August. So I'm not gonna have any more streams this month. And I'll be back on the 9th of August. And actually, in fact, Let me just double check. Well, in terms of streaming, I mean, I'm here, but I'm not going to be streaming. That's what I mean. I won't be streaming until the 14th. Yeah, I won't be streaming until the 14th of August. And also, don't forget that on the 28th of August, that is the 10th anniversary of Hugo's Desk. So I'm going to celebrate 10 years of Hugo's Desk. And so we're going to have a lot of guests. We're going to have Victor Perez on the show. We're going to have Cave Academy on the show. We're going to have Foundry on the show. We're going to have BenQ on the show. We're going to have Claudia from Scape Studios on the show. There's going to be a lot of people on the show. I'll publish a list once I know more. And then hopefully, I'll publish lists. Then I finished Silent Hill 2. I did, yeah. It's all on my channel. It's all there. So I finished Silent Hill 2 a couple of months ago already. So I think I can't remember how many streams I did. That's a good question. Maybe I should go and check. Can't remember top of my head how many streams. I'll double check in a second. So let's see here. So it would have been, it's not on my gaming channel because I didn't have a gaming channel at the time. But if you go here to my main channel and if you go to playlists, there is, because at the time I didn't have a channel just for gaming, but yeah, if you go here, playlist for Silent Hill 2, and I have 14 videos, so this is the full playthrough, and I think the last it was 8 months ago already, so it is basically 14 videos. I used to do them on my main channel, but I've stopped doing that because people were complaining that I was playing too many games on the channel. So that's why I've made a separate channel just for streaming games. That's why. So yeah. Okay, cool. So the winner of the new course is that name, which I'm gonna read in a second. Just posting it. So the name is Axgorian. I guess that's how I pronounce that. Axgorian. Is that how I say it? Axgorian. I would say that is it, right? And in terms of Silent Hill, I will put it on the chat here. Silent Hill 2 is here. Okay, that's you, right? Are you my student already? I don't think you're my... Are you my student? I don't believe so, Ryan. Are you my student? Yeah, just let me know. I don't think you are. I don't remember that name. Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, I don't think you are, right? Otherwise you wouldn't be wouldn't be that thanks to the guys. Congratulations, my friend. So we'll only have one giveaway today because I didn't reach the goals, and but we'll do it next, don't worry. You were intending to? Well, now you don't have to. I'll give you access to the course now because you just won it. That's it, really. I mean, we'll see all you each other on Monday then. Monday we will have the... Congratulations, Ryan, for winning the course. On Monday we will be streaming, we'll be publishing the Civil War episodes. So check that out. We'll be on Monday at 6 o'clock. And you can watch it live with me. And... It's not that just that one. Every Monday we'll have one. So I think, yeah, that's right. So Civil War will be next Monday. And then we have Twisters on the Monday after that. And then we have Gladiator 2 on the 28th of July. Mufasa on the 4th of August. Wicked on the 11th of August. Better Man on the 18th of August. And then Kingdom of the Apes on the 25th of August. And then Alien Romulus on the 1st of September, and 8th of September we have Deadpool versus Wolverine. So there's quite a lot of videos coming through on the channel, on the main channel. And on the second channel, I'll be playing more Death Stranding. So, yeah. Well, thank you so much for the lovely stream. It was wonderful to to be with all of you. And thank you so much for the donations. Thank you so much for the super chats. Thank you so much for the subscribers. Couldn't do this stream without the help of all of you. So I tell you, I hope you have a great day. I'll see you all later. Have a nice day. Be safe out there. It's really warm, so drink a lot.